turns for the Austrians.
What
And then,
scenario are we doing?
Scenario
well, we
4,
yeah, we were talking about four.
because that should have the most toys for us to play with.
Yeah, without going just completely insane and doing the full. Oh, see,
Yeah.
now, now it's not out of paper; it's out of ink. It's like, okay, thanks. Okay, and oh, okay. And to be fair, it's printing the order of battle, so I guess it makes sense that it's using some colored ink.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah,
about
yeah.
to be offended. It's like, do you really need magenta? Yeah, okay, it probably does. All right, magenta, magenta, where are you? Okay, let's try that.
All right.
Um,
So have we determined anything? All I can do is I can only join as solitary or Austrian. So does that mean I'm an Austrian?
no,
Uh,
no. In fact, I think. Oh,
should we? Should I reboot it?
well, I
And
don't know. So I'm not online.
no, David is, and David was trying to get in.
I see. Okay, and if I tried
So,
to.
So does that mean you're a Prussian, Eric?
well, that's what it. When it gave me options to be Austrian Prussian or an observer, I just clicked on Prussian because I
I
figured I would play
see.
the Prussian since I'm not. I didn't think I could do a well enough job solo as the Austrian player. Um,
I see. Well, now
so
you're okay. So I clicked Austrian, but I mean, I don't think it matters
I don't
because
think it matters either. It's not.
there's no hidden
Yeah,
information.
yeah.
So I think ultimately it
But
does.
I do think, well, if it depends on how the module is written, they
Yeah.
do write the module that you can't sit there and do things with the other person's units.
Yeah, I don't see that very often, to be honest with you. I'm
Well,
not
I just flipped over an Austrian counter, so
okay. I
I
But
I
can
think we're
you,
probably okay.
I
can you
think we're
move it?
probably okay. Yeah.
Can you move it
Okay.
somewhere?
Sure. Let me try. Yep. I just moved it one
Yeah.
hex forward. Yep. So, um, I think we'll be okay.
Uh, you're right that there are some modules that are like that, and of course it makes sense in a game where hidden information is important.
Yeah, I know somebody had posted on the consim where they were doing something with like hidden units and line
Oh
of
wow,
sight and
really?
all the rest. Yeah, and I think they were. I can't. I'm not sure what game they were playing. A bar game,
Yeah, yeah.
because I
Oh,
remember
you don't remember
seeing
which
it.
one?
But they had like,
Oh, it was Lobosits, wasn't it?
yeah, 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 yeah. I think that was it. And so then they had like, okay, it's a little flag, but you don't know what it is exactly. So
Right,
so I think we're okay. Um, I think we're okay with how we have things set up. So as long as everyone
right,
can move stuff around, we should be in
right.
good.
Yeah, I think we're in good shape. I can move
Well,
some
we'll
of them.
find out if we get
Yeah.
halfway through and people can't do things because they're certain.
Well, yeah. Well, that would be a real drag. But I don't know. I'm just thinking. Uh, I'm thinking I don't know what would be prevented, right? Because I mean, if you can move units around, I mean, obviously, what do? You move units around, you place a lot of markers, you take markers off, but the markers aren't going to be side sensitive. What else do we do with the module? It's not like just cards or.
Yeah, no, I don't think there'll be any issue. I know when Tom was working on a thing for Quattrobra mod, he was trying to come up with a way that if you were not if you were the opposing side, you could see the other unit, but it would be obscured. So like they
Right.
have in La Bataille Quattrobra, the
Yeah.
Dutch have got obscured units, and this would then prevent you wouldn't know, is it the real, is it a dummy unit, what is it?
Right.
But I
Right.
don't
No,
think we have
I
that issue here. So
no, no. There's nothing like that. So I don't think so. I think we're
okay,
probably Okay, now we still don't know who the heck we are or what we're doing, but that's,
Well,
that's
I kind of
that's
figured that
perfectly
we could
normal.
do, one player plays the Austrians and two players play the Prussians.
I think I agree. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so we've got, it looks like we got a fair number of Prussian cavalry or Prussian commands that are still entering the map in the first several turns.
Right.
Um, and I guess I want to make sure I'm understanding. Looks like they arrive in different locations.
Yeah, it looks like Zeitens, well, at 9:20, right?
Yeah.
Following units can be activated and enter the map as reinforcements. So it looks like there's two regiments of, I'm presuming
Mm,
that's maybe infantry. Then you've got
uh,
Kleist's command and Schoning's command and the Prince of Brunswick with his command, and then some various and sundry artillery, and then Frederick and some of his staff.
yeah.
And then
So
at
yeah,
10
actually on
o'clock
the
we get Zeithen, and then at 10:20 we get more of Braunschweig's wing, and then also at
right.
10:20 it looks like Prince Heinrich shows up with
And it
his wing.
looks like they're all entering on the far eastern side of the map in different locations.
So there's
5101.
So
two
a lot of
groups at
them are showing in
9:20.
are coming in at the ones that are coming in at 9:20 are showing up at uh, the north map 66701, which is I think over here somewhere. If I can zoom in a little bit.
North map 6701.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
also at North 7021 at
Right. Yeah,
9:20.
there's actually two separate groups at 920. Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're right. There's another group.
6701 and then 7021. And 7021 is also on the north map, but that's going to be down a ways. 7020. Oh, well, that's where that road column's already coming in.
Yeah.
It's just a continuation of that. Okay, and then you got those other guys coming in. Now that's kind of interesting. Okay. Um, yeah, and pretty spread out. Um, Zetan's wing obviously comes in pretty far around.
Right. He's coming down in the very south it looks like, but I think he's light cavalry.
Oh yeah, but they're ferocious light cavalry. I
Oh, well
mean, you're gonna
that's
find a
nice.
lot of +5s in there. I mean, they're hardcore.
That's the kind we like.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, so actually, they're they're coming in farther north than I thought. Okay, all right, and well, the victory conditions couldn't be a whole lot simpler. I mean, compared to some of the three-ring circus we had at Brandywine, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is nothing more than get the other side to +20.
Yep, pretty much. Oh, we got some people watching us here. Jeremy. Well, we've got William from beautiful, warm, and toasty Kitchener, Ontario.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
lovely.
There we go. Let's see. We got Jeremy Harris. He's cheering for Frederick the Great and the Prussians to come out on top.
Well,
Well,
sure, why
I'm playing the
not?
Prussians, so don't get your hopes up there. By the way, when you get some time to put up a link to your Discord channel, okay, yes, I will try to put a link up on the Discord. Thanks for reminding me. Maybe I'll be able to
So,
do that right now.
question then. All right. So first of all, I think I'm in general agreement. I think probably, especially since there's a lot more maneuver on the Prussian side and the burden of attack, it probably makes sense to break that up into two different players. I'm totally down with that. Um, I'm totally down with taking any role. It's all good. Um, we do need to figure out there's not a super obvious dividing line between the Prussian, the two halves of the Prussians. Obviously, we'd like to scale it approximately equal. Um, I'm not 100% sure though how to do that.
Well, we
So
can
the
probably
guys,
figure it out as stuff starts to come out, right? I
yeah, I
mean,
mean,
I'm
obviously, that you got that really north group that's off the map. Obviously, that's large, but a long way away from the action.
right.
Probably makes sense to divide it south by north, right? I mean, it seems like it would be really difficult otherwise.
Yeah, and there is. I mean, you can clearly see where, the you've got the S hexes and the N hexes. So with the
Yeah,
exception of this group here that's kind of straddles the two, these guys here are kind of straddling it, but it looks like you've got a group of cavalry here for the Prussians,
right,
and Zethan stuff comes in further south.
Oh, I
right.
gotta turn
Um,
off that clicking option.
Oh,
oh, is stuff moving everywhere?
he keeps
Yeah,
herking and jerking
I'm
every
trying to
time.
look at other things, and then it's like going.
Oh yeah, I should
Yeah.
probably do that too. Preferences, center on opponent's move. Yeah, turn that off. Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right. So the
that's
question
uh,
is, Michael, do you want to be the Prussians or the Austrians? Or better
well.
yet, David, do you want to be the Austrians or the
Yeah,
Prussians?
yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't know
That's
what I
good.
want to be, but I was kind of I was thinking about thinking probably the better way to split it. Yeah, the original my original thoughts on splitting this, if we did four people was if we could get one experienced bar player and one newer
Yeah.
bar player on each side would have been a thing, but with the way it is at the moment, I'd probably think with three would split it. I'll take the Austrians and you two take the thing. That way you'd have the most experienced and the least experienced on the one
Oh,
side against
okay.
the moderately experienced
Yeah, I mean,
on the
No,
other.
that's
otherwise,
fair.
I'm happy to take the Austrians. I mean, I don't know that I could do worse than they did historically. So, but
Well, try not to get
give me
Brown
time.
killed. I
Yeah,
think that's probably.
yeah,
I mean, he's going to die pretty soon anyway, but try not to get him killed because
yeah.
that won't help. Um. Oh,
Oh, does
yeah.
he
No. That.
automatically die at a certain point?
No, I don't. I don't think
I
so.
think I
But
thought
if
he
you,
got wounded, didn't he? Get wounded
he
at the
did.
battle? Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah. And
did.
he was not
Yeah.
terribly well anyway. It sounds like he had
No, he was. He was.
tuberculosis and who knows whatever
Yeah.
else.
That
So,
did. That may have been the easy way out.
yeah.
Just getting. Um. Yeah. Let's see. I got my order of battle here. I'm just trying to correlate these guys. So that's S is the cavalry down in the south for the Prussians. And then it is, who is it? Um, F. Okay. Is it just F that's up there? All that infantry is all one wing? Probably. I don't know. That no, it has to be more than one wing. Schwerin, but that's too many guys. Oh no, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Winterfeld.
Yeah, Winterfeld bites the dust here,
Uh,
but he
it's
should
an
be on the
independent command.
yeah.
It's an independent command. So that's F and the independent command that are up up on the line already. Then if we go farther back, we go to who is that guy? I feel like I should know these people better than I do. Come on. Okay. Um, well, all right. So let's think about that. So obviously, the guys in the south are cavalry. There's going to be more cavalry down in the south. cavalry combat is just different to infantry combat. You obviously don't have any experience with bar cavalry combat because we didn't really have any
Yeah,
in
that's
the
why I'm
last.
looking forward to playing this one
Yeah,
because we got a lot of ponies to push
yeah,
around. Yeah.
we sure do. So I guess part of my question is, do you want to take the southern forces because it gives you all the cavalry? Because I'm guessing that it's all infantry that I'm going to be that's coming down from the north right now, and the rest of the cavalry is going to come around from the south.
Sure. Why not? I mean, the only way to learn is basically throw you into the
Kill a
pool.
lot of kill a lot of electrons.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
yeah, no, I'm fine with that. And then
Okay.
I'm sure you'll need some help with some of the infantry, so we'll figure it out as it comes along.
Yeah. All right. So you've got S, which includes Krakow. I remember him from Kolin, and Prince Württemberg, who's just behind. Okay, so that is just S. They're just spread out a lot. Um, well, you know what? I mean, if that's the case, then why don't you take um, Wing S and Wing F, so Sierra and Foxtrot, and
Okay.
uh, and Winterfeld's command, because they're all together. I mean, it just makes sense, right? That and I'll bring up these guys from the north. I mean, they're all going to be marching down this road down the east side unless I decide to get really cheeky and just come straight at the earthworks here on the north side.
Okay. So I've got Schonlach and is it Folk? So
Folk,
S and
it's
F.
there's an accent, so it's
Folk.
Fouquet.
Fouquet. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, and then obviously, it makes sense that you'd have Zeton when he shows
Yeah.
up,
Okay. Sounds like a deal.
and then we'll just see how much it balances with the other ones, because obviously we've got, um, let's see, who else do we have coming in? That's Vinderfeld's command. So the reinforcements. Oh, great. Okay, that's L coming in up there, and Braunschweig is there. And Zeton comes in down there. Braunschweig comes in some more, and then H. And it's Heinrich. All right, so it looks like we don't see Pennever. I don't think I see him, and I don't think we see Bevern either. They they must be the ones that were doing the presentation in front of the Austrians to try to hold their attention.
Right. Yeah, I
So
don't
I
see
mean
them
that seems
listed
like a
here.
pretty close balance then. And you'll get into the action straight away, and I'll just be marching up and down the square.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a deal.
And there's no limit on the board.
No limit in what
Um,
regard?
I mean, we've got the entire two maps. I mean, I know we don't have the west map, but I don't think there's any
Yeah, I
limitations. The
didn't
north
see
and south
anything that
maps are
specified
used.
that we couldn't
Okay.
wander in different places.
Okay. Um, I guess the Austrian has a little bit of choices that you might want to modify slightly some of the things that are here. For one
Yeah, I was
thing,
going to ask that because I hadn't looked at scenario. I thought we had said, I was just going from memory and I thought we had done five and I was looking at five. So, no, it's
oh, five, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think this is, I think this one will work.
all right. So we start at 920.
Yeah, 'cause I thought
Start.
scenario 5 is like the whole kit and caboodle.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And And it's got the off map stuff, and
Yeah, that
it's a
would.
beast.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit better in that it goes until 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we
So
yeah we just
it's a
kind of
shorter.
do the morning,
Yeah,
and at the rate of maybe a turn every week, it's still gonna take us a good while.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and the knucklehead cat saw that I had paper, and so she had to get on the paper. You knucklehead. Okay. Yeah, so Austrians looks like there's well, I guess you gotta place Brown somewhere with any Austrian unit on the north map. Um Maybe the 6 light fieldworks markers can be placed within 2 hexes of any of the following hexes with a maximum of 2 markers within a 2 hex radius of any given hex. Okay, light fieldworks. That's kind of interesting.
So yeah, it's like a little baby Fletch. They've got
Yeah.
some here already on the map where they've got
Oh.
some of this artillery, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. Are
So they
those
got
the
some there.
hexes
Those
that
are
were in
light
mind?
field,
Light
and they've
fieldworks, and there's
got
thing
some here and here. So it kind of looks like they've got their guns in some emplacements of sorts, or
North 4019. So it looks like they have placed them
yeah. There's one here. There's one up
right,
here.
right.
So it
And then
looks
probably one there that's north 3926, right? And then there's one on the south at 3807. Where's 3807? Where's 3807? Have I lost my mind? Oh, there it is. Okay. So it looks like you have a little bit of choice about where those are. I don't know if there's any compelling reason to change the way they're set up, but it looks like you could. And then the artillery set up on any of the light fieldwork counters, 1 artillery unit per fieldworks counter, or within 1 hex of a unit of Koenigsegg's wing that is on the north map. And then there's the special leader for the artillery. And then the Grenzer's got to be up in the north. And it looks like you got some choice about where they are.
Okay. Hmm.
Interesting. This is fascinating terrain. It's obvious that Frederick didn't have a MAPSCO.
well, from what I remember reading about it, it looked like this just big wide open green lawn.
Right.
But then when he got closer, he's like, "Oh, that's a swamp."
Yeah, and I like the way they handled it, because the way they handled it with the special events, the disorder checks. There's a no, it's not a disorder check. I take it back. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Um, Under the initiative special results, there's a 20% chance of hidden ponds
Yes.
where an infantry command gets activated, but all the clear hexes cost double and there's a disorder check. And I love that because it means that you, the player, don't have the god's eye view, just like the descriptions of the battle, where it's like, all of a sudden there's a carp pond. Now what do we do?
Yeah.
I guess just keep going, guys. It's like, great, let's go wander across the carp pond. But you couldn't really see them. And
Yeah.
so I think that's a genius way of handling it, is that the Prussians are intermittently going to find themselves
Bogged
jammed.
down. Yep.
Yeah, literally bogged down. So that's fun. I like that. And I assume that if it's a 20% chance on a special result for the Prussians, we're going to see it from time to time.
Yes.
Okay. And so here I am trying to figure out who all these guys are. Where is the leader? There's Sunday.
All right.
Growth. Okay.
Are you trying to figure out where everybody is?
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
And okay, so it looks like I'm not seeing two of the light field works.
Uh, Two of them are down south at anchoring the right end of the Grenadier line.
You've got two down here with these guns. Right down here by, is it Sterbeholf? I can't.
Sterbeholf? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, so there's
That's
two down there. And then
all
you've
right. So
got
it's got
some.
those already set up.
Yeah.
So those are the
Right. And they're set up in legal positions, but it looked like they were allowed to be within 2 hexes of
right.
the anchor hex. So if you didn't want to put them exactly there, you could move them around some. On the other hand, maybe somebody just decided that was good enough. I don't know.
Um,
I'm actually thinking about the one that's in the middle there, the one that's at the left side, the north side of your line of infantry. I wonder, would you want to move them forward to be at the top of that slope, or would that be awkward because now they're too far out in front of your main infantry line? Or maybe you just say to hell with it, I'll move the infantry line up. I don't know. Just it would be legal to move them forward, I guess is what I'm saying. Whether it's wise, of course, is a completely different question.
well, they're on the. Let's see. I think they're on a forward slope. It's that doesn't change their.
No, it would just make attacking them less pleasant. That's all I was thinking.
That's true if they came up through that.
And here I am looking for the terrain chart because it seems like that'll be really helpful. Come on now. All right. Wow, the terrain chart's simple too. Look at it.
Yes.
Way less terrain.
No Brandywine Creek, no Brabble,
Yeah.
no Ed Wimble's
Okay.
house.
So those green things, those green things are just regular slopes. And then I guess there must be some steep slopes, probably. Oh,
Steep
very
slopes
few of them
have
up in the
they've got the little brown speckles on them.
right up in the far north. I see a few,
Yeah.
but they don't look like they're going to come into play.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. There's one.
There's one here.
Yeah, that one, is potentially just to make it even less pleasant to try to get your army through that incredibly narrow little boundary there.
Just mass the
light
guns
field
there.
works. That's it. Load them up. Okay. Let's see. Nobody goes into Pond River. Pond is any hex that's got a dot in the middle of it.
Yep.
The other hexes are all fair play. Walled Church.
I think the walled church is up. I thought I saw it up north.
It's right. It's
Yeah,
right up.
it's in Kej or Kij.
No, I don't think so. Well, there may be more than one, but I see one right here. Up north center with.
Oh yeah, there's one here as well.
Around
so
the
just look a
Grenzers.
little further to the east, sandwiched in between those two ponds. There's one here as well.
Oh, I'll be darned. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it clearly is. It's not specified on the. It's kind of common that you see them specified when they're unusual, but in this case, I guess there were enough of them that they didn't call each one of them out. Okay, and those are really, they're general order infantry only, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are pretty rough.
What were you talking about?
Walled churches and farms that not terribly likely to come in. Well, I guess the one up north could come into play. That one in looks like Kaj again. My
Right.
God, it'd be pretty cheeky to try to sneak through there. It would take 8 Austrians to stop my entire army.
Well, I think that's why Frederick picked this route.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he could see the water, so he went around the water and figured he was okay, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
okay.
right.
How are you feeling, David? You getting situated?
Well, um, I'm actually thinking something slightly different for the middle
Oh,
artillery one. I'm thinking maybe, what do we got? So that's a 12 and that's a 6. I'm actually thinking maybe they back here.
oh, okay. Yeah, 3926 was your anchor. So
Yep.
yeah, all right. Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, that's they're and being there and in the thing they're in us. They're defensively they're in very good shape there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they can't fire over the guys in front
Well,
of them,
right.
but
I'd have to take an. I've got a turn or two. I could move them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the funny part about scenario one. It's the infantry battle, which basically it looks a lot like this right here, as the two infantry groups are facing off, and yeah, you've only
And
got like 5 or 6 turns, and it
right, I
takes
think
it takes at least 3 of them just to cross the board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, hurry!
so. I'm gonna switch the guns
Okay.
down below. I put the 12 there.
A 3 pounder. That's not much. That's, yeah. 12 pounders are pretty good in this game.
Yeah, pounder will get your attention for
Yeah.
sure.
A 3 pounder, you might as well just roll it down the hill at me.
Yeah. Disorder check.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
what else? Okay, so that's. I think that's what I'll do with that. Um, what else do I have any decision to make on there?
I think you got a little bit of flexibility about where they go up north. Um, I think it's within 5 hexes of some hex.
Okay, so all right, or well then let's see. There's
Within 5 hexes of north 3710. And north 3710 is right there.
which ones are you referring to?
The Grenzers, the skirmishers, the blue ones.
They're all the way up on the northern
Right,
map.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for them on the list.
Oh, they're like the dead last Austrians that get
Oh,
mentioned
Grenzers,
just before the
right before the
reinforcements.
reinforcements. Set up the
Yeah,
3 SZL Grenzer units with the 5 hexes of 3710 of
right.
North
So, and
3710.
it looks like
So
that guy is 5 hexes away. This guy's behind earthworks, which makes a lot of sense. And then this guy's kind of, I don't know, holding the road, I guess. I don't know if there's really a better place to put them than that, honestly.
um, do they get any benefit from the earthworks, or is it just the artillery? Yeah, they
No,
do too.
everyone gets
Yeah.
some benefit from the earthworks. So the heavy field works, which are the ones that I think are printed on the map,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
um, they're gonna fire defense is halved. It looks like. FS times half.
Fire strength would be halved.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And then close combat, the attackers got a -2 on their effectiveness, so that's
Right. And
pretty
then
even.
morale benefit of 10, so
Yep.
that's not bad.
Yep. So it's better than a poke in the eye.
I moved that one Grenzer back behind the works
Yep.
there. So,
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. That seems at least as useful and maybe more so. Yeah, all right. That works for me.
what's the other one? Okay, it's just a regular village hex there. There is a church, so I guess he's just kind of there. You can always retreat to the church. All right. So that's. So what do we got here? So artillery setup. Where's the howitzers? I have 2 7-pound howitzers. Where did they get?
Howitzers.
So there's one here. There's a
one there,
howitzer
yep.
there. Yeah.
And the other's south of that.
Yep.
Five
The other one's
hexes.
right there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So those are the howitzers. All right. Who do I got what here? So we got Raish command,
Hang on just a
Camporelli's command, Strollberg's command, and Ursul's command. That's Koenigsegg's infantry wing. Oh, okay. First, I got the top of the list is the Lucchese's cavalry wing. One of these guys down here. There's Lucchese. She's got.
Yeah, those Austrians, they picked people up from all over the place, didn't they?
Yeah. So that's Cuirassiers, Cheeses, Cuirassiers. We've got Leopold's Cuirassiers. And we've got some lights. Or, well, no, they're dragoons. I'm just trying to get myself familiar with the commands here a little bit.
Oh, totally understand. Absolutely. That's the biggest problem with picking one of these up.
And now I got to shuffle through charts.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess I can pull them up too. I've got the charts though for the game here.
Oh, because it showed up this week, right?
Oh yeah, it actually it showed up last week. It got right here, man. I had it. I think got here Saturday, and I would have been ready.
Of course, the truth is one other huge benefit we have is that this is modern enough that I suspect that the charts in the Vassal module are acceptable. You don't even have to shuffle around the paper charts.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should all be up to date because I mean, this shipped with the 3rd edition rules. It's
Exactly.
2014 was when it was printed, so
Yep.
it should all be good. So,
Yeah, I would think so, with the possible exception of, if errata, which I printed that just I guess I'll take a quick look and just make sure that there are oh, they just misspelled somebody's name. Prussian order of battle. There's something tiny.
All right, and then okay, so Chisi has Spada and Altan. And Altan is that this guy? Yeah, he's that guy back there. So that's one command. And then there's Paddock's command. Now, do we want to use any of the optional rules?
Oh, that's a fair question. Did they have the optional rules?
They did have some. They're just before you get to
Oh,
the
right.
scenarios, I think.
Yeah, there's the multi-unit cavalry options, some limitations to try to make them stay together a little bit more. Um, that that one, adds some complexity. It kind of prevents them from being quite so flexible, and probably from a realistic perspective, it probably makes a great degree of sense. I don't know. It certainly does also add some mental burden. You guys are the ones who are going to have all the cavalry, so that's on you if you want to.
Yeah, I'm not. I have no opinion on the subject since I have no experience with
And probably
little
be,
horses.
since this is first time with the cavalry, at least.
Maybe better not to. Okay.
What about
Um.
the wing activation rule? The speed up play.
Um. uh, I would think that if we were to do that, it would probably end up benefiting the. Well, I say it would benefit the Prussians more, just because they're the ones attacking. Um. But of course, Frederick's got a wing activation number of 5 and a command rating of +4, so he's probably going to get wing activations pretty often anyway. I don't know. I'm. I don't know why that one doesn't really motivate me a whole lot. Um, I mean, I'm
Well,
okay with
in
it
that respect, it may benefit the Austrians because of the
because they're less likely to get the wing activations.
activations. Yeah,
That's possible. Yeah.
but
Um, I don't know. If somebody feels strongly about it, I can live with it. I've never used it before.
Well, we could always see how long these turns drag out as more stuff comes on the map, and then it could be the sort of thing that, in the interest of you guys getting to bed before 1 a.m.
Well, that's a fair point. If we
Yeah,
get through it, if we're finding we can't get through a turn in in a session,
yeah, yeah. We might want
then
to do that.
probably it does make sense.
Yeah,
Would you be willing to revisit it later, David?
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's
Yeah, let's take a look at that and just see how that goes. There's enfilade effects, um, where instead of having 1 to the fire multiple, instead it shifts the odds column 1 to the right. I'm kind of partial to that one most of the time because, except for very unusual circumstances, uh, adding 1 to your fire multiplier rarely changes anything. And so it's like I'm enfilading you, but there's no benefit to me. It's like,
Right.
that's just weird, right? So it seems like you should get some benefit. I had a weird circumstance in Fontenoy as the French where I'm firing at very long range, and so adding 1 to my fire multiplier was a big deal because I only had a 1 or 2 fire multiplier. But that, to me, that's kind of a an outlier.
Right.
Whereas in most circumstances, it seems like just shifting the odds column 1 makes more sense. So I'd be down with that one. Um,
all right.
what else?
I'm looking at. Okay, haddocks are. So I'm looking at the cavalry command down here. Did you see
Yeah.
the 4 that I just, okay, so the 4 I just highlighted, that's Argentine right here. Then the 4,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got
I think.
some
I think
now the
dragoons.
rest of
Yeah.
these look like they're haddocks. Haddock is here. Here is part of haddock.
Yeah, I
and
think
here is
you're
Haddix,
right.
and here is Haddix.
Right. So it looks like those ones over on the left are all out of
Now,
command.
what does it say? Haddix? Or okay, so it specifies the okay. I guess they're set up on the hexes that are specified, huh? 3115, 3116, and 1718. And 19, 20, 21, and 22 are the Argentiles, and then 23, 24, 25. All right, so his command's all split up.
Yeah, that's curious.
And his commands, his range is 5.
Yeah. So he's got the two-thirds of them in the south are all fine. It's just the ones that are up on the north side that are mysteriously out of position.
Well, from what I understand, the Austrians had been facing north, thinking that that's where the Prussians were going to be coming. And then
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
saw the Prussians changing, they pivoted and sent stuff over this
Right.
way. Um, and so it could be that those those guys, are are in that situation just because maybe of how things shook out as they redeployed.
A little bit disorganized
Yeah.
as they come back over. Yeah. Um.
Okay, so they're set up. All right, I'm just, as I said, I'm making myself familiar with what
No,
we
that's
got
totally
going.
fine.
And then I've
So
got so
there's
where's my grenadiers? Is that
just north of your cavalry.
all right? So these are the grenadiers.
Yep,
Yep.
the guys with little
Okay,
All the
grenadier
CGR
hats. Yep.
converged grenadiers.
okay, so
A bunch of them.
that's the converged grenadiers, and then the next group north is,
They're Fusiliers, it looks like.
and that is who is
That is under
Raish.
Preshak. Preshak. Presha.
Pretty shock, yeah.
All of our viewers, I'm sure, will be writing in the comment section all of our mispronounced names.
Probably be a lot of that going on
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Well, the map is lovely, but I'm like looking at this. They've got this Germanic font.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm looking at this. Okay,
the names of the
so
towns.
what
Yeah.
is this?
Right.
Is that an F? Is it an S?
I know.
Sterbohof? Sterbohof. Sterbohof? Is it an F? Doesn't
Oh, you
look
think
like
it's
it's
an
an L.
F? Yeah, that makes
Because
sense. It could easily be an F.
it's got a little
Yeah,
tick on it.
yeah. And Hoff.
Yeah.
That sounds like a German sort of ending.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah,
German
that
than
makes more
Hall.
sense than Hall. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's a beautiful map, but then how the heck do we...
Yeah, the names of places are tough.
Hostamwitz. That at least I can understand a little bit. So... Unter Metschhof. Oh, and it's got a... Oh, what was that in German?
Where are
They've
you?
got the double S.
Oh, they make it look like
Unter Wehrhautfuss. It's like a B. It looks like a B, but it's actually the double
right.
S.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
And
can't
it
remember
has
what
a
that's
name, and I don't
called.
remember what
Yeah.
it is. Yes, it's terrifically confusing.
It was a long time ago that I had my German classes.
Chris,
It was 40 years ago when I had German and when I was in Germany.
Didn't we used to write that like in the Declaration of Independence? Isn't it written like a big, tall, almost looks like an F, but it may not have a crossbar on it. It's like in cursive. It was this
Oh
big,
yeah,
tall, vertical,
lots of the
right?
colonial stuff. The S's and the F's are
Well,
very
but I think
hard
it
to
was,
see.
but
Yeah.
I think it was double S's that they would replace with that character, kind of like they do in German here.
Yes, yes, a double S would have that.
You know, just fortunately a habit we got rid of.
Well, it
Okay,
does. It's one less key on the typewriter.
there you go. That's got to count for something.
So,
So, all right. So we talked about enfilade effects.
yep.
There's another one about enfilade and column, and actually enfilade and column is kind of funny because if you think about it, enfilade doesn't really make any sense if you're firing a column.
Yeah, because the column is
Right.
pretty narrow. Yeah.
Right. So actually, what they're saying is that it's shooting through the front or rear that's enfilading a column. Well,
Right.
that makes sense, right?
Yep. Makes
So,
sense to me.
okay.
Well, part of
Um,
that is part of isn't that part of the standard rules? Because it didn't mention that
It does have it
as
here
part
on
of the,
page 8 of the Prague special rules.
right.
yeah, I don't believe that bit about columns is um, is from the standard rules. Um,
Oh, okay. I was looking at that last line in that paragraph.
right,
In the
right.
normal
But
bar
that's
rules,
just
the fire is
it,
not
the
inflated
defender gets the benefit of the doubt. I think is what
along the
that
front
rule
or
is.
Yeah.
rear hex vertex.
Um, I don't know how often this is going to be a thing. I'm not really sure if I have a strong opinion about it. The artillery in close combat. This is a little bit of an unusual scenario. You come up and attack, and you're attacking one hex that's guns alone, and the other hex that has some other units in it.
Right. It's the
And
two hex
using the
line.
no, it's you're attacking two hexes,
Oh, two hexes. Okay. Oh,
and
okay.
one of them is artillery alone, and the other is somebody else. Now, according to the normal calculation method, you'd calculate the CV for each of those two hexes. Well, of course, the CV of artillery is 0, so it's going to basically have the effect of having the CV of the other stack.
Right.
And this optional rule was built to say, hey, maybe we just don't count the artillery at all. And I'm thinking, I don't know, why? I mean, it seems like you gave them a 0 for a reason.
Yeah.
That's because after the defensive fire is complete, they're incredibly vulnerable. It should have the effect of causing, the side of that defender to be threatened very rapidly as you try assaulting through the guns.
Right.
So I don't really agree with that optional rule. Of course, the other thing is obviously if you're conducting this attack, you're going to get defensive fire from both of those hexes.
Yeah.
You're
There
going to have
might not
troubles
be
enough.
much left. Yeah.
Exact. So anyway, I'd be perfectly happy skipping that optional rule. That one
Okay.
doesn't do much for me.
I concur.
Now there is one that would have been nice in our game of Fontenoy. That's 5.3b, end turn activations. And this is a variation on the basic arrangement. Once you reach end turn, basically you just roll dice and whoever goes first just moves whoever it is who's still on a road and in road column and able to move. And then when you run out of the people who are able to move, you don't roll your way through every formation looking for special results.
Oh.
If there are any, formations that haven't been activated, they just aren't.
Right.
Now, the only implication to that is it means that if you're disordered, well, yeah, if you're disordered,
You
and
don't
your
get a chance
formation
to.
never activates, you
Right.
never get undisordered.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think one of the
Also,
things
if the formation could fire.
oh, you're right. You're right. All right. So let's just read it. Let me make sure I've got it right. When the end turn is reached, don't use the normal end turn and limited activation procedure. Instead, only units using road movement may be activated and only for movement. Each player rolls a die and the high roll moves one of his eligible commands, after which the players alternate moving any previously unactivated commands that have units using road movement. Once all units using road movement have moved, the turn is over. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, you're right. It means that using the normal rules, somebody's already engaged in combat, you could just go ahead and hold them until the end turn. Because they're not moving anyway. But
Right.
they'll still get a chance to shoot. But if you use this optional rule, you'd have to make sure to activate them.
Right.
Because, God, that'd be awful if they were standing there and didn't get a chance to shoot. Okay, maybe I'm not a big fan of it then. I just was, while we were thinking about ways to speed the game along.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All
So
right.
maybe we don't need to worry about
I
that.
mean,
All right. Well, then.
I mean, I don't mind the idea of alternating just the activations and not rolling a die and
Yeah, I
waiting
like
for
that part of it.
special
So that way we don't
results,
have to
but
do the special result stuff all the time. But
and it would
that would
could
speed things up.
some.
So the
Which
idea
is
is that we would roll to see who goes first, and then we alternate back and forth with whatever remaining commands are. They could do whatever they could do. So they could fire, or they could move if they're in road, or they could recover
Right.
disordered people. But we're not going to be just endlessly rolling for special results.
And does that mean that the zeros wouldn't count as special results once we reach the end turn, that we just go straight to just high number wins? Or
Yeah.
high number,
So
modified high number.
we roll once to see who has the initiative. Or who
Oh,
goes
and then
first.
you're talking about just going back and forth.
Right, we just go back and forth. Okay, the Prussians won the initiative.
Oh,
Great.
that is what
The
it
Prussians do
says.
one, then the Austrians do one, the Prussians do one, the Austrians do one, the Prussians do one, the Austrians do one, and
Yeah,
until
give
we're
that a
done
try.
with everything. Yeah,
Let's just give that a try and see how that goes.
because we did spend a lot of time
Yeah.
rolling
No,
for.
we absolutely did.
Okay, this guy over here who's got a whole of 2 battalions that are
Well, or having to look up special events that
yeah.
turn out not to mean anything in the end turn.
Yeah.
It's like, So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's give it a try. Let's see how that goes. All right.
Anybody see where my Königsberg guy is?
Your Königsberg. Königsberg is part of Prussia. You shouldn't have any Königsberg guys.
Königsegg, excuse me, Königsegg.
Koenigsegg.
Oh, okay. He is the head man. Isn't that Charles, Prince Charles?
No,
No.
Brown is my head guy.
Yeah. Charles is.
Koenigsegg is the wing commander of this infantry wing up here,
Oh,
and I just have not found him on the board here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not finding him either. Where is he?
He should be within 5 hexes of a unit of his wing. So he could be anywhere because his wing is scattered all over the place.
he's the guy that's up here in the northern part, north of your gun line.
Yeah, I'm really struggling. I'm not finding him. Where is he? Where's Sunday?
He has defected.
He is defective.
Figured he had a Prussian name, so he was gonna.
Yeah, they figured he was.
He
a
speaks
turncoat, so
German.
they just
We got
executed him.
Stolberg is here, and Ursel is up here,
Right, those are 2 of his commands.
right?
As you come down.
Oh, hold it! I just saw him. I just
Where?
didn't realize that. No. Oh, dang it! No, I didn't see him. Sorry. So it's really confusing because his initial is G, which isn't obvious. right? But you're right. I do not see him. I see all of his commanders, all of his subordinates,
All his G's, yep.
but
Well, just go grab him off of the
yeah,
grab him out
I
of the
think
counter mix. Maybe when they did the setup for it, they forgot to put him down. I mean, I could forgive them for that.
yep, yep. It's a fairly small beer as that goes.
Now, and another question I have. Okay, so that's these guys up in the north here coming up the road, are they in road column or are they? No, they're being.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see. What do the just general setups requirements say?
Who are they part of, anyways?
Come on.
They are. So,
Units may set up in any legal formation with any facing unless otherwise specified. And I'd be real surprised if there's anything specifying it. I don't think there is. They're from Koenigsegg.
They're part of Ursul's
Yeah.
command.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're free to put them in any although now that I think about it, I don't know that you can put them in road column
no, they wouldn't.
because they would no longer be able to be in those hexes.
Right.
So, but they could be in march column.
Yeah, because
Certainly.
right, yeah, as opposed to
Kind of be, yeah, it would kind of definitely be make more sense
Seems like
than what they're in. Okay, that
did you
I gotta
find
go
the
find. I gotta go find Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg? The egg of Koenig.
the king's egg.
His wing. There's his command piece.
Oh yeah, so some of the Prussian troops are specified as setting up in road column.
Yeah. And I think he's got them on the map. I see
Yeah.
them with little road column marks on them.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just a counter example of an example where
All right.
they really are.
His wing is this guy. This guy. There's a good place to put him.
Okay, and this is this? Saldern. Stern is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 3, 4. Okay. Oh,
6701.
Kelly, he is. Has
721.
ARB. Has
All right.
Okay. I think I'm relatively organized at this point. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Sounds like a deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed at the lack of artillery on the forces that the Prussians have on the field right now.
I think that's just because this was the force that
Got there first.
was able to make the best time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guns are necessarily dragging along behind.
Yep. All right.
But just give them cold steel.
Yes.
That's what old Frederick would have told you.
Well, I think our fire multipliers for our troops are pretty wicked.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, our musketeers are ×4. Our grenadiers are ×5.
Now, what's
Right. So in general, one better than the Austrians.
Yep.
That's good.
all right? So, all right, Brown needs to be.
All right. So what did we decide? Brown is the
So for this
Austrian
scenario, I think
army leader.
yeah, he's the army leader, and then
So he's +3 and with a 7-wing activation number. It's the turn track, right? And then Frederick is our army leader, even though he's off board, which means everybody basically has to put themselves in command, but he would still be the one to roll for initiative. And he is going to be
he's a +4, wing activation of 5.
Okay, so there's a net of +1. Okay.
And then it looks like Schwerin is a detachment leader in most of the scenarios.
Right, and we probably ought to figure out, is he specified as one in this one? He is a detachment leader in this one. His detachment consists of the wings of Shanai, Fuquay, and Haucharmoy, as well as Winterfeld's command. Haucharmoy, I don't know where those guys are.
Well,
I think
they might
may
be coming
part
down
of
the road. Yeah.
I think they're the reinforcements. I think coming in later. I'm looking for them.
It's General
Triskel and Kalkruf.
Hauchoy. He looks like he
Yeah.
is an
It's the
artillery
first
leader.
group. It's the first group, the ones coming in at 7021.
Yep.
North 7021.
They're the ones
that's
that
kind
are
of
right
awkward.
there. They're the ones that are right here coming on the map.
Yes, but I guess what's awkward is that these guys in front of them. Oh, no, that's okay also. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. I think we got things sorted out.
So basically, that's your detachment.
Okay.
Now I think we played a little bit fast and loose with the detachment rules in Brandywine.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did. The official way it's supposed to work is that once you start activating somebody in the detachment, you have to do all the activations in the attachment before you can go back to the main army.
Oh, okay.
I I I I think the idea behind that is to try to keep the two from being able to coordinate.
Huh. Okay.
Since after all they're, operating under different command structure, right?
Hmm.
Once a command belonging to a detachment has been activated, if the next activation by that player is not for another command in that detachment, then all other commands in that detachment may only perform limited activations for the remainder of the game turn. Commands of the main army are not subject to the restriction and can be activated at any time. So, um, I don't, I don't, I don't know if I feel so strongly about it. If we really ought to worry about that.
Well, I don't know that we're going to be able to coordinate anyway because we are separated by
Yeah,
30 hexes.
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Probably not worth worrying about.
Yeah. And that way, then
Um,
it's
Probably.
not a case
well,
where one or the other of us is
now,
staring at each
yeah,
other.
I kind of like that of doing it. That
Yeah, of
idea.
course you do.
Yeah, because what that would prevent is, let's say you activate a detachment. That means I could be doing other things somewhere else, and you can't react to it until or well, if you do, then you're going to
Right.
penalize that
Right.
one.
You can't
Whatever.
deal. You can't deal with things over there. Well, I mean that's fine. I mean, if you feel strongly about it,
Yeah,
it's no big deal.
that's fine.
It. It.
Let's play
It.
with whatever the rules are. Whatever the rules are,
All
that's fine
right.
with
Fair
me.
enough.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We take our lumps as it comes.
Hell, we may even take your lumps.
All right. I think I moved my command structure around a little bit to
Okay.
1, 2, 3, just so that I kind of maximize what
You
I
mean you
could get in command.
placed commanders in specific locations?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All good. Then if we're ready, we could go ahead and
We could roll some dice.
check a die and see what happens.
Yeah.
Now this
Now,
okay, this
I
one
will
doesn't
point out this is ever so slightly confusing, but if you see the dice up there, the blue one's on the left. So we probably need to be really clear. Is the left one the Prussian die?
As opposed to, I think they've.
that would make sense because most of all my offices are colored red
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
yours are colored blue. So blue is the
Just
Prussian.
wanted to be clear.
So that
All right then.
oh, the
Plus
other
one.
thing I just wanted to look at who are my reinforcements this turn. So we were starting on the 920 and somewhere there's some where are
Oh
they?
yeah, that's right. And by the way,
Are they the ones
there,
on the road down there?
no,
Yep.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
you've got stuff that's on the road. You've got a bunch of
'Cause
no, no,
camps.
no. But I don't
That's
think
actually
that's. I
that's the
don't think
west
that's
map.
it.
That's the west map. Yep. They're coming. We're only using the
Oh,
north and south map. The west map is actually on the board here,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and those would be coming in at the
Uh,
edge of the west map or at the edge of the north map at S10.
920 at South 1013. Yep, that makes sense. Right. And then the other ones will come in a little farther north.
Okay.
Okay. Yep,
So
I believe that.
that's my
All
reinforcements
right.
coming in at and since they're in road column, limited activation will be fine for them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about them as all right. Um, well, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get some little markers to put on each one of my commands, and because there's a lot of commands now. Figuring
Well, it's certainly a little more than half the British Army Brandywine.
Yes, there's a lot of commands that are so.
Oh, that's right. I know why I was confused because um, I've got Prussia's Glory, the Battle of Prague, but it's at I think it's 500 yards per hex, and Prague is on the map there.
Ah,
So I think I forgot that in this game Prague is actually off the edge of the map.
all right. Let's see what kind of. We got any special counters here I can use for something?
Yeah, it's a shame we probably don't have any tile spacers. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Actually, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to just take the finished markers and put them, a bunch of them over here on the map. All right. My order of battle says, okay.
Those
All
are very
right.
pretty finished markers.
So, who is what? So, all right. So I've got, yep. We got. Oh, just as an aside here, speaking of finish, I've been working on my, uh, setting up and making the setup for the Mount St. Jean easy.
Right.
And so I actually did Gary's baggy idea,
Oh, okay. How's that working?
and it's working nice. But I one upped them on it. So if we get there, I've got little maps of each of the forces in the background of each one. So so
Very
we'll,
cool.
we'll
Very
so.
cool.
Ooh, I just said that publicly. Oh no, if he watches this, he's gonna know I did it.
Oh, well.
Darn it.
Gary will, I'm sure, be very, very appreciative that, what is it? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Mhm.
So,
That's what they
there you
say.
go.
I did slightly different. Actually, I did it down to a further level. For some of them, I he went to the division level on the British, and I went down to actually the
Each
brigade
brigade.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that, um, the artillery commander, is he first Ferristine? Is he a command?
Like, what do you
No,
mean?
I think he's a special leader. He's not a command leader.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's on one of the artillery
Oh, I see
units
him
on the
now.
map,
Yeah.
and
No,
Yeah, so
he's a
he
special
can
leader.
combine two artillery stacks with his command range to fire one fire combat against a single target that's
Right.
beyond their minimum artillery range.
Right. So
So,
yeah, he would just activate with another formation's
yeah.
activation.
He
okay,
must be
and
in
then
command to use his special artillery ability, which can only be used when he is activated and therefore only once per game turn. Fernstein is in command only when a LOC is traced to him from the army leader or Brown, either directly or via wing leader extension, or
Right.
from an activated wing leader who is in command via initiative.
Of course, Brown's got a 10 hex range, so
Yeah.
you'd be hard pressed not to be within 10 hexes of him. But okay, duly noted.
oh, does he have to be within 10 hexes of Brown?
Well, he has to be in command,
Yeah. So he's
and
got to
and
have an LOC, right?
he can't
To,
put himself in command.
yeah.
Is the message that he would have to be in command either from an activated wing leader or LOC back to the army leader.
Okay, and he's fine. All right.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
very much so.
I've yeah, I've got that. Okay,
All right.
and let's see and the one my reinforcement is Hohenzollerns command. And where is he on my thing? Hohenzollern, there he is. He's that guy over there.
Yep, he's right in the middle of that column of guys in road moving up.
All right, so that's this guy here. All right,
All right,
I think I'm ready.
Let's roll some
ready.
dice.
Chuck some dice.
So
All
Prussians
right.
are blue, Austrians are red.
Blue.
We've got a
Austrians.
17.
That's enough for a wing because I think 7 is
7 was mine.
Brown's wing activation number. So if you want to activate
I'm
a
gonna have
wing, it's kind of funny that you're on the defense and you're getting to activate first, but whatever.
All right. So I got 2 wings. GC or Koenigsegg? Who do I want first? All right, so boy, this is gonna. All right, let's do. Yeah, let's do the infantry wing. So that would be this guy here. Koenigsegg. And he's within 10 of Brown, so he automatically activates, right?
Correct.
Yep. And only those commands that can trace to him are activated.
Right, so that would be this one, and this one.
Right. But not the one way up north.
Not the one way up north.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So he, or does he activate as out of command, or is he just not activated?
No, he's just not part of the wing activation, so he'd activate separately.
Okay, that works fine. All right, so what do we want to do? All right, I want to. All right, so now I'll figure out what I want to do.
It's funny. This actually reminds me of when you're playing Pendragon and the Britons get to go first, and there are no barbarian pieces on the board yet. I'm like, that hardly seems sporting, does it?
Now, can a line unit back up 1 hex?
Yep, requires a well. First of all, it doubles the movement points to do it, and it requires a disorder check +5 for each hex that you do a line back up.
Right.
Interestingly, columns can't back up; only lines can.
Oh, okay. All right. So that.
Well, it's generally easier. You just have everyone in line about face.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I misspoke, although the effect of it is the same. It doesn't double. It just increases by 1 the movement cost per hex. In practice, that often amounts to double, but strictly speaking, it's just
I
plus
can't
1.
do that. All right.
You can't do backup and rapid march in the same turn. And you can't do formation, extension, and contraction or oblique movement as part of backup movement. But otherwise, yeah, if you want to just back up.
No, I thought about it because actually there's a movement penalty for going over one of the fortification things, isn't there? So.
Oh.
Oh yeah, and you're going up a slope as well.
Well, that slope's only green, so I don't think it's a,
It's a
is it?
+1
Oh, oh, it's still
if you're in
plus one.
line. Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, you're right. All the slopes count for something, don't
Yeah.
they? Even the modest ones.
It's mostly a nice rolling hill, but
because I was thinking of backing this guy up into the guns there, and you can stack infantry and artillery, right?
Sure.
But he can't do that because he doesn't have enough movement points because it's +1 for the slope and +1 for the field work. So that's double, right, going back, and it'd be one. So that would
No,
be
but it's not double going back. I mean, remember I said +1 actually once I had a chance to glance at the rule again.
yeah.
all right.
So
So
it would
So
be.
I could back that guy up and put him in line.
oh, now that's where you'd get into trouble because you can't do expansion and contraction as part of it.
Well, he's already expanded. Oh, I'd have to go this way. No,
Oh yeah.
no, I
Yeah,
could
I
go
mean I
that
guess
way.
that's
I could go that way.
you could go there. Yes.
All
And
right,
that would have cost you
4
one to move,
plus
another
1.
one for the backup, another
Plus
one for going up the
nope.
slope. That's 3.
And then
And
another one
another
for
one
going
for going
over the field
over the
work.
field work.
Ah, and then one more for the field works. Okay.
4.
All right. So that's all 4 right there.
Yeah. All right.
And looking at the field works,
That's
shows no implication for stacking.
They look like they are considered clear terrain because I don't see anything for stacking. There's no parentheses there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, or maybe other terrain, but in
Yeah.
this case, it's probably all. I'm just looking to see if there's any. They frequently have special rules that talk about terrain in the special rules for the game. Fieldworks hex sides. And that's the thing. They're just hex sides.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes way more sense. I was really struggling with this because if you see, heavy fieldworks is a P for artillery. All that really means, though, is that artillery is not allowed to cross a
They can't. Yeah, they
fieldworks
can't
hex side.
prolong.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to say that they couldn't sit behind. Well, they can't even go across unlimbered, or limbered rather,
Right.
unless there's a road, presumably. But there's nothing to say they can't sit behind it because it's only a hex side.
So, yeah. Okay. So then this guy is going. All right. So I need to make a disorder check for that guy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, right. See what. And that's at +5 or I don't know.
Well, it's definitely +5 for the backing up. I'm just trying to determine if the Fieldworks hex side also causes another multiplier. Just roll.
I got 37.
Oh, well, that might.
30. They're 28.
Okay, so you can stand a +5, but you can't stand a +10. Let me just double check and see. Is there Fieldworks? Only, yeah. Don't block the line of sight. They are affecting terrain for the disorder check for series rule 8.7. So yeah, so in other words, it was +10. So you needed a 38.
So they're disordered.
So they're disordered, yeah.
And so. And does that work like that with them splitting their?
What you mean being in 2 hexes
Yeah.
and having artillery in each of the 2 hexes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna go double check how that gets handled.
Easy way to fix that problem, Dave, is just voluntarily route them.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just voluntarily route.
That might really be your best
Yeah,
answer.
and then they just go running away,
Um,
and whenever they recover, then you can move them back.
looking for. Boy, I should be able to find this, but I'm having to think about it a little bit. Um, where's infantry and artillery?
Well, go ahead and
If
move
the
your other stuff
infantry.
around, Dave.
Okay,
We're figuring. Well,
that one's going back.
okay.
He's going to do his disorder check. He's fine.
Okay, I did find it.
All right, let's.
Okay. Um, so unlimbered artillery may only stack with other unlimbered artillery and or infantry in line, hook, attack column, or square. Unlimbered artillery must have the same facing as the non-moving unlimbered artillery or the infantry in line, hook, or attack column. Unlimbered artillery stacked within a square can face in any direction. An unlimbered artillery unit that is stacked with a multi-hex line hook formation is not placed on any particular hex of the formation. Just place it above or below the infantry counter. When artillery is stacked with a square, it must be the top unit in the stack. If the infantry in a multi-hex line hook formation containing unlimbered artillery leaves the hex, the unlimbered artillery is placed in either of the multi-hex formation's original hexes.
All right, so I can't really because I would probably exceed the artillery stacking, right?
About that, because you're in two hexes.
Yeah, because you've only got 4 increments in each hex of infantry, right?
Yeah, but the so okay, so the way I'm understanding it,
So you got
this
two.
yeah, this is weird because the way I understand it, then this would be where the artillery would be like that, right?
Yes, that's how the rule reads. So in that case, you'd have 5 increments of artillery. Am I reading those right, or is it 4?
4, I think.
Yeah, the
Okay,
artillery
yeah, 4.
just 2 increments each. So you'd have 4
Right,
increments
okay.
of artillery, and then you've got your 8 increments of
Right.
infantry, but it's spread out over 2 hexes. The maximum stacking in each hex in line is 16. Right. So what do the artillery count for?
Yes.
Do they count for
They
4 for every
they
one?
count for 4 for every one.
Yeah. So you've
And
got
so it
you've
means
got
that
12
you've got
in each
yeah,
hex.
you got
So you're
12
fine.
in each, which is well below
Yeah.
the line limit.
Yeah. You're
So
fine.
I think you're fine.
Okay. All right.
And is it weird? Yes. I think it's very weird. Because what it effectively means is that if you move out in your next activation, that suddenly magically the guns could have just slid over and they're all in one hex. But it doesn't happen very often, so I guess we don't worry about it.
All right. So this guy is going to go into a left hook. Is that something I can right click on formation? Let's see. Hook.
Is that Capitelli's? No,
that's-
those are those guys.
Right. Okay, so that's good there.
But those guys can't because they are with a different command.
Well, but
they're
They
belong
are.
to him.
That's right. They're PY. Okay, sorry.
Right,
They
they're
had a
just not
different color
colored anything
uniform.
like the officer. Yeah.
I'm just like, wait.
It is a
those are
little
different.
confusing.
Yeah.
I in fact, and then that was the other. There's something special about the grenadiers or
Well, they're grenadiers. What's not to like?
well, I know, but their command, grouse.
Yes.
Oberst Gesko.
Well, yes, I see what you mean. They're independent units according to the OOB here.
But
But you're right. He's a special
he,
character. I'm
I think
trying to
they can
remember.
either be activated as independent or as a separate.
He's a special leader who functions as an ad hoc leader for the Austrian Grenadiers. He can be activated like any special leader, meaning during another activation. Or he can be activated as a command leader. When he's activated as a command leader, he has a command range and an initiative rating. He may activate any grenadier or artillery units within his command range. He may not attach units, and regimental integrity does not apply to grenadiers. He has no replacement. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Um,
All right. Well, just as for this one, I activated them as an independent, whatever, and with his command, so with his wing activation. So he's activated just to get him out of the way. Am I done moving the rest of? I think I am done moving the. See, that guy's in line front there. No, I do not. Let's.
Do they have the idea of communicating battalions?
Yeah.
yeah, that
Okay.
there was actually a mention there that regimental integrity doesn't apply. But for example, these two guys here
Right.
are two battalions from the same regiment, so that if you're tracing command, like, to here, and you can get him, then he's automatically in command. And if you're tracing command, 1 hex, 2 hex, 3 hex, that's 4 hexes.
Oh, okay.
It's as if this is a single
Oh, okay.
unitary
Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool.
entity.
All right. Yeah, because I was wondering how those guys down at the far end could without you moving your commander around, touch them. So okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah, it makes these very long lines more practical than you think they are at
Right.
first glance.
And let's see. I'm going to. Now, the howitzers, can they fire over the units in front? Because they've got them set up behind these other units.
That's a great question.
I would think so.
Howitzers.
Howitzers are indirect fire.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Howitzer combat rules 12.6D. Oh, these rules just kill me, because there's a rule for everything, and you can find it pretty quick. 12.6D. Providing you can ignore friendly units for LOS purposes, providing the firing howitzer has an otherwise valid LOS to the target unit, and the friendly unit is closer to the firing howitzer than it is to the target. However, howitzer unit firing over friendly units has its SPs halved, and howitzer stacked with infantry must still be on top to fire, of course.
did that answer your question, David?
I guess it does. It means that probably these infantry out in front of these howitzers probably needs to back up also. So. If I'm going to give them a worse than
Well, and you need to change your orientation slightly too. I don't think I'm in your firing arc currently. At least with
But you can be sure he's going to try.
Yeah.
So do that one. That one's all.
Yeah, those things got long reach.
What's
Guess they do fire pretty far.
what is their range?
14.
Yep. Yeah, the range isn't printed on the markers like it is with Labatai. It's there
No,
on the
it's on the terrain
fire.
chart
Yeah,
at the
on the terrain
bottom.
chart.
Uh,
They're like the mortars there at Dresden that were raining shells on you. It's your turn
I'm
to
sure
get
you
some
fondly
payback.
remember those.
so
Oh, I think it's John
that's
Minich who fondly remembers those because I think I was killing Prussian and Russian commanders left, right, and center,
Nice.
dropping shells on them. So that did put a slight crimp in his plans on that side of the battlefield. So,
What can you do?
well, kill more of
um,
them.
Okay.
So it was one of those things that, I mean, this is where the use of the command rules is has a lot of historic value because if you were to look at like the Russian replacements and certainly the French replacements, a leader gets killed, there's half a dozen guys in Napoleon's staff who could take over, for
Yeah.
dead corps leaders and commanders and this and that and everything else. And the Russians had a few people that could replace people. The
Mm,
Austrians had hardly anybody,
interesting.
and the Prussians
So
were
things just really
also,
start breaking down if
yeah.
they.
And so
Yeah.
this was something that Ed Wimble, when he was watching those different ones, had commented on that the French had a pretty deep bench of people. They've been in these wars for a long time, and it wasn't like they just
Yeah.
ended. But the Prussians and the Austrians typically, after the first season, they were either wiped out or they sued for peace or something. So they didn't really have sort of
That's true.
the
They didn't
stamina.
stay in the
Yeah,
war. They
they
kept
didn't. Yep.
jumping in and jumping out, but
Yeah.
they didn't actually. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
and the Prussians and the Russians tended to have a little bit more because they had, kind of stuck with it longer. So it was kind of interesting to see how that played out in the actual game, where uh, I think when the Russians lost one of their commanders, they lost a command point because somebody had to step down and they were running out of people to, they didn't have anybody to fill in. And so then that puts
Oops.
a big crimp on the Allies because now they've lost a command point.
Right.
Um, and the Austrians were close to the same thing happening. They had a couple of guys get knocked out.
all right.
So that can kind of bog down your whole game.
Yeah.
Because now suddenly you've lost leaders, you've lost command points,
Right.
and it's just like with at what is it, Auerstadt. Brunswick gets shot through the eye, and suddenly everything falls apart. So
Yeah. Now what do we do?
exactly. All right, we ready to roll some more dice, or are you going to shoot some
And not
guns
quite.
at
I've
us?
I've got a. I'm figuring out the movement for one other guy here. This guy right here. I don't want to get him out of the way. So if I get a chance, I'm going to go into column in this square here, facing that way. So that's 2. If I read the chart correctly. And then he's going to go 3, 4 right there. And I think that's the last of my move.
All right, what's
So that will
next?
flips this guy. Flips this guy. That flips this guy. And that flips this guy. All right. Yep.
Okay. All right. I keep forgetting that fire combat comes at the beginning before the movement. I'm like, are you going to shoot
That's
at
right.
me? And you're like, oh, yeah. Then I
I,
realized
I can't.
can't, yeah, because he had somebody there. All right, I guess we go back to the dice.
Yep,
All right, who rolled first?
I did.
Okay,
For some
David, why
reason,
don't
that's
you
just
go?
become our order.
Yeah.
So go for it, Eric.
Okay, here I go.
Or, yeah.
61. Woo, woo, woo.
Okay,
Party
that's going to
time
be a wing for the
for
Prussians.
the Prussians. Okay, do you want to do anything exciting, Michael? Do
I,
you have anything
I
that
mean,
you can do?
I'm pretty sure that the troops I control are all the ones that are off the board to the north.
Oh, okay. Does that
Because
mean that they can do
I'm
anything?
pretty well. They can, but I mean, they're going to enter in road order. There's no reason for us to worry about them.
Okay.
So
So
you do you.
so here's the question. What should I do?
Oh dear. Well, now that's a rather more complicated one. That's an interesting one because I will tell you from experience that those grenadiers are tough,
Right.
and and the fact that they're artillery supported on both sides doesn't help.
Right.
So just charging pell mell at them probably isn't terribly useful. Um, Especially because you've got a crap ton of reinforcements coming.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's got some too, but you've got more than he does.
Right.
So it seems like I don't know if I'd be just wildly off and engaging straight away.
Okay.
I think I'd be inclined to, let the rest of that infantry make its way forward, get them set up. Then the question is where do you want the main vector of the attack? When does Zeton come in?
I think Zeton comes in at, I want to say 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Zeton is in at 10. Braunschweig is in at 10:20. So I think that's your stuff that's coming in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've got is
7017 to 7033. So it's all those hexes marked 4.
yeah.
Okay. So Zeton comes in over there, which could have the advantage of, dislodging the right flank, because right now the Austrians have a flank against that pond.
Right.
So obviously that won't last very long because Zeton can unhinge that.
Right.
So
So should I bring
yeah,
my reinforcements up? Was that a better use for my wing
well, I mean,
activation?
I think the only reason why I wouldn't immediately think to do that is unless you're planning on leaving the road. I mean, obviously, if you're planning on leaving the road, then yeah, you'd want to go ahead and activate them. If you're staying on the road, then you could wait till the end turn, right? There's no rush.
Right.
So it just kind of depends. But if you don't really have anything else urgently you've got going on, I guess my sense of it is I probably would wait for Zeton to show up before I got too crazy with the cavalry.
Right.
I think it's safe to say your cavalry's better than his, but you don't want to get into a fight where he's got all those hussars around the side,
Right.
being able to pick off your units once they're disordered and stuff. So, even if you moved forward a little bit with the cavalry, and you certainly could, I wouldn't get close enough to actually get into a real fight yet.
Okay.
And then as far as the infantry, I'd kind of really be reluctant to get too close because you're going to be in artillery range pretty quick.
Yeah, and I don't have anything followed up with yet. So
And that's the other problem. So then the question is what would you like to do with the reinforcements that are coming on? Unfortunately, they are, whether it's a little awkward because they've actually passed the point of being able to go along the Kaiserstrasse.
yes.
Obviously, you could just peel those units off and just have them march cross country, and and then just have everybody else march up the Kaiserstrasse. I mean, you've got choices there. There's also the choice of marching all the way down south and and coming across the creek and through that village and then attacking the right wing of the Prussians, or of the Austrians rather.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, unfortunately, what's not obvious is, just forming a second line behind the existing infantry. I guess you could do that if you went west on the Kaiserstrasse and then just turned.
Right.
You could form a secondary line behind the infantry line there. That would make some sense.
Well, and then the other question is, what are you going to be doing with your guys?
Yeah, and you'd think that we'd be having this conversation while David isn't listening.
Well, David can't do anything about it anyway.
Oh no, that's not true. He's got reinforcements coming on.
Oh, that's true. He could do something really, really incredible.
I can go to another room or whatever, and you can let me know when you're done discussing this.
Yeah.
Where do we?
We would go down to well, we're in the La Bataille. We could go to French.
I guess we'd
French
need
H quarters.
Oh, French. Yeah, that'll confuse everybody. All right, we'll go to the French H quarters. Nobody will think to look for us there. All right.
All right.
That's weird. I've never had it ask me, are you sure?
Yeah, it's new. It's starting to do
Yeah.
that. I mean, most of the time we haven't done it because with Brandywine, we were all in the same boat.
No, totally. It was really back to Moscow was the last time we would have done that.
Yeah, it's something new that they've added a while ago.
Right.
To be honest with you, I was tempted to march it down to Sterbelhof. And like turn their, I guess that would be their right wing.
Yeah, and to figure that your cavalry is going to go crashing forward probably after 10 o'clock once Zieten shows up.
Right.
And probably it's going to be an utter shit show of cavalry just swarming, like wildcats and zeros.
Yeah.
And then, you could maybe go ahead and bring those guys forward and do exactly that, and just aim to roll back their right flank. So that's a fine approach. I got no problem with that. So then the question is, do I come south and go west on the Kaiserstrasse in order to support? Or do I go southwest from where I am and try to bum rush the field works there and, force them to spread out?
Well, and part of I'm looking at it here now, when I'm looking at the order of battle, so say with Foucault, right, and Hotcharney, those guys are wing commanders, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's right.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to head due west because I've got so I've already got part of one of my wings here and part of a different person's wing over here. Treschau is part of somebody else's wing, right? He's part of Hotcharney's.
Yet Trescow is part of, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so if I...
And the rest of them are back there in the back? What are those guys doing there?
They are marching up. So I think
But that's just... Wait a minute, though. Is that... Oh, that really is their whole command.
Yeah.
Oh, how weird.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to... So Kalkruth is... Who's he part of?
Kalkruth is part of Hatchermont.
Yep, he's part of Hatchermont. And Treschau is already on the map.
He's on the map.
He's on my right.
He's the right, yeah, exactly.
And then I've got somebody else who starts with a Y.
Well, that is the wing leader, Hachamoy.
Oh, right. So
That
yeah,
is
he's
why.
not there yet, but
It's
he's
F. It's Fouquet.
okay. Yep.
That the KS Cursal unit is already on the board, but Saldern is still coming in. In fact,
Uh,
he's the lead unit coming on.
yep.
Okay, wow. Okay, well, so yeah, it either means you'd have to rearrange your lines, right? Because it means you'd have to basically take what you're right and pass it over to the left in order for those guys to come forward. That seems awkward.
Yeah. No, I think what I'm going to do is go down the Kaiserstrasse, and or some of them go down the Kaiserstrasse, and
And then form up with
yep,
the
yep, form up
the
on that
rest
side.
of their
So I
wings.
because otherwise we'll spend forever and a day doing some additional
Okay.
maneuvering, and then I'll hit them on that side, and you know straight on into the teeth of the lion, and you can maybe do something clever with your guys, either marching them down to come up on my right, or to try to come through some of the gaps there, depending on what you want to try.
Yeah, see that yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out because if I come down, you're probably going to go west on the Kaiserstrasse and then go south from
Yep,
there. You're probably and so you're saying that if I come down the Kaiserstrasse, I'll just head straight west.
yep, that's where. And then what I'll do is I'll be south of the Kaiserstrasse, and you could then be, you know, north of the Kaiserstrasse or on the
Yeah,
Kaiserstrasse.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's the way to go.
I'm thinking I will probably march at least one command temporarily down that southwest road towards his earthworks just to try to draw his attention.
Yeah, you could do that,
Because
and I know
I
that
don't,
historically there was fighting there at Tej and some of the other stuff.
yeah,
So
and I'm not totally opposed to that, but it just seems like
yeah, I mean it's going to
ridiculous.
be tough terrain to try to fight your way through.
Yeah. So I'm not really convinced that makes a lot of sense. I may just come down the Kaiserstrasse and head west,
Yeah,
but it's going to take me a while, of course.
yeah. Well, we'll
So
figure it out.
all right, well, let's go back there, and we at least theoretically have a plan. And now all
Theoretically,
four people on the internet now know.
yes. All right,
They're back.
we are back. We are back. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to activate as a wing activation. I will activate my cavalry under Sonach, and just gonna scoot them forward a wee bit. So we can go just like that. Oh, that's so nice. And the cavalry, do cavalry go, can they do echelon, or does it cost them twice as much to do
No,
echelon?
no, no. They are free to
Okay. They can go
maneuver
wide.
without worrying about oblique
Okay.
marching.
All right.
And you're Prussians anyways, and you don't have oblique marching anyways.
There you go.
Then you're probably right. That's a good point.
Yeah, the Prussians are in this game. They can go oblique without it costing the extra movement point. So, all right, that's it for me. I'll flip this guy, and I'll flip this guy, and I'll flip this guy. All right, time for somebody else to throw the dice now.
Boom. All right. 0-2.
0-2
Special
special,
result.
the first special result of the game. It's got to be something exciting. And it's a 2, so it's an Austrian initiative special result. This is Army Leader Lapse.
Uh-oh.
The Army Leader may not trace his LOC or use his command rating. And there's a little star by it. What's the asterisk mean?
Uh, Probably means, well, that's a good question. What does it mean? Um,
Because there seems to be one next to Fate. There seems to be one next to Army Leader Lapse. There's one next to Command Confusion.
Oh! It says under initiative special results. It says for this section it says can be applied to off map units.
Oh, okay.
Oh, note by the way what that means. Fate could actually have a fateful effect on any of those leaders, whether they're on the map or not.
Ah, yes.
That's messed up. All right, so
Frederick's Horse Tricked.
yeah, I mean, sure, it's why not, right?
There
So
you
that's
go.
an Austrian 2, so that means that the Austrian leader has lapsed.
There you go.
All right, so
So Brown.
Austrian units then have to put themselves in command.
Which is a good thing that I did a wing activation with the infantry, because
I guess so.
that's the only thing he was affecting anyways.
Okay, well there you go. And by the way, the other thing about that command, it's a little unusual, is that if you get a leader lapse again during the same turn, it basically means the lapse comes off.
He becomes unlapsed.
Unlapsed. We may be making up words at this point,
There
but
we
yes,
go.
that is what we meant.
And there's actually a spot on the turn record track to record that. So I'm going to take one of these finished markers and
What? Oh my gosh, you're right. Look at that. I've never seen that before. That's great.
Oh my gosh, I just hit the end turn marker instead of the.
oh,
Undo. Hit
Yep.
the undo.
There we go. Instead of going to the
I
turn
did that
track. Yep.
I did that at Brandywine a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
I'm glad you did that, because that actually did. I'm using finished markers and they all disappeared on my order of battle thing to see who I still need to activate and everything.
Oh, it's even taking him off of your order of battle. Oops.
Are they back now?
Oh, yeah, they're back now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which means that I'm actually going to replace it with something else. But here, that's not going to disappear when when you hit that.
Well, maybe you want him to disappear, right?
Yeah,
Because
put disorder markers on them instead, or route markers. Shaken.
well, but wouldn't you want that to go away at the end of the turn?
No, I want.
He's just trying to see
then I'd
what's
have to
on
put it-
what he has to play with.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I'm
Alright.
going to do is move them off again, when
I see.
the
All right.
turn. But if they disappear, that means I have to go figure out.
You got to go
where-
find them again. Yeah, that makes sense. All
Who's
right,
who?
never mind.
All right. So go ahead and re-roll, correct?
Yep. You still there?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
You rolled the 0-2. You need to re-roll.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah, you
thinking
did.
you roll it. All right. Okay. And we're back to it.
That's another Austrian wing, if there is a wing for the Austrians to use.
My cavalry wing this time.
Well, there you go. They'd have to activate himself, of course,
But he would anyways, because he's not in range of Brown, and
exactly.
and so I picked him because he actually has an activation of 7. So I do a single die, right?
Uh huh.
6, and
Well, there you go.
and I think he's 7. So he activates his wing. All right. Let's see. Right. So let's there. And let's there. And there. And I can also activate Haddock, right? He's
Haddock is
independent.
a different. He's not. I don't think he's part of.
He's independent.
Haddock?
Yeah, yeah. He's got a little gray bubble. So yeah, I guess he is a independent command. Looking at the order battle
Oh,
chart.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. It's yes, it's an independent command.
And what is the rule? Okay, how now the part of his command is out of command. How does that work?
You, oh, well, no, okay. Well, hold on. Let's back up a step. We're doing a wing activation here.
Wing activation, and I'm including his independent command as part of my wing.
I don't think you can. You can activate independent units as part of your wing activation, but I don't think you can do a separate command. I'm double checking. Independent. Come on. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I don't, that's not really answering my question. Okay. Wing leader must be in command or put himself right. Wing activation allows the activation of each of the unactivated commands that have LOC traced to it from that wing leader. The wing leader cannot trace an LOC from one of its commands. The command is not activated as part of the wing activation, though it can be activated separately later. Also, just because a command is in the wing leader's LOC, it doesn't have to be activated with the rest of the wing. It's optional. Commands participating in a wing activation are activated together and execute the command activation phase simultaneously. Wing activation completely optional. Um, I don't see how you could activate an independent command with a wing.
Okay.
You could activate independent units, but not an independent command. That would require a separate activation.
Okay. I've just, it's been a while, but I remember vaguely from Shatuzix, I had a independent command, and I don't remember what we did with them, but yeah, because I had one cavalry command. One of
Yeah, I
my
mean,
cavalry was an independent, little independent.
yeah, you're right. No, there was one on your left flank.
Yeah.
And it's like a separate command. It doesn't have a wing structure. So and of course, usually it's somebody with a really good initiative rating. Um, and you can obviously trace back to the army leader, but it is a separate command. So it wouldn't be part of a wing, so it couldn't activate with the wing. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if we allowed it, but I can't imagine why though, because it doesn't make
All right.
sense.
Yeah. All right. So that's
Yeah, independent units and non-command leaders can be activated as part of a wing activation. That's 6.6E. So, but back to your point about Haddock, when he does actually move, then yeah, I mean, obviously those units up there in the north are all going to be marked as out of command and they'll be half movement.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
looks like the Austrians aren't going to sit around and wait.
David is out for blood. That's how he operates. All
So
right.
you
Are we done? Are we ready to roll some more dice?
think we are? Looks
Okay.
like he's flipped the leaders over, so it
Yeah.
looks like he must be done. All right.
Back to you. Michael's got a 32.
Okay, that's
That is
gonna
going to be a.
We still haven't had an end turn thing, so.
Just give us time.
Oh yeah, 10 is our number, right?
Yep. In fact, I've marked it on the turn tracker.
Oh, wow. God, you're so.
All right. So what do we want to do?
So, Michael.
Okay,
roll. Michael,
you-
roll.
You are
You've-
Frederick the Great, so you tell me what to do.
Oh, stop it. So you've already wing activated your cavalry, it appears.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, if you're not really going to bring the infantry forward, then maybe you just go ahead and bring up your units in the back.
Okay. All right. I can do that, I think. So
Now it's a single activation, so you're going to have to activate one command.
right.
And as we just discussed, your commands are a little bit.
Yeah.
I think foobar is the word we want to go with here.
Yep. Yep. So we are going to activate this one here, which is Saldem, and
Yeah.
and we're going to.
Now he is definitely not in command, so he's going to need to put himself in command.
Okay.
So you might want to just
So he's a 5.
roll and see what you get there.
Okay. Roll the 2.
Okay.
So he's
No
in
problem.
command. Yep.
All right. So so to be honest, when I thought those were my guys, I think what I was thinking about doing is just really splitting them up into two parallel columns,
Okay.
and just because it would require all of the movement for those guys who've already moved south of the Kaiserstrasse to turn around and face north again,
Right.
and then they'd be blocking.
Yeah,
You know,
they'd be
either-
blocking the road for anybody else coming down the road.
They'd
yeah.
be, but yeah, nobody else could go through because otherwise they're getting separated. So my thought was, just go off road with the guys who've already passed the Kaiserstrasse and have the ones who can make it to the Kaiserstrasse just go west on the Kaiserstrasse. Will they go faster? Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
Obviously just make sure the leader ends up plopped in the middle where he's able to keep everybody in command. And that was what I was thinking I would do.
Okay. So looking here at this lead unit, it would cost us 1 to go there, and then taking him out of road and putting him
No,
into.
stay. I mean, you
stay
can
in
stay
road?
in road if you want. I mean,
Oh yeah, we could. So
well,
that's going to be
honestly,
2,
I guess there's very little benefit to it.
3.
Honestly,
It's just a matter of where you're going to cross the creek.
yeah. I mean, I was just going to head due west. I wasn't going to go down the road at all. Because remember, the other half of his command
Right.
is this guy here.
Yeah. I know. So he's got to try to get over there.
So it seemed like, why would you go running down the road when you could just go cross country due west?
Okay, I'll do that.
I mean, and then, like I said, the other guys could go on the Kaiserstrasse and then just turn south.
Okay, so we take him out of road column. So how much does that cost me to do?
Well, actually,
Or can I stay in
all
road
right.
column but just not be on the road, or does it matter?
Oh, okay. Let's think about that for a minute. And David, you and I've had this conversation before about the facing changes.
Right. Um,
Like when does the facing change happen? Like, for example, whoops, when the guy entered the hex, he was facing that way as he
right.
was walking down the road.
Hmm.
I I, I think we've kind of talked about how, well, yeah, how
That's
if
how
he
I
wants to follow the road, no big deal. He can do that as part of his movement. So
and I
kind
think the way the rules state it is facing is from what his facing would be from the hex he entered. So it's the rear.
Yeah.
So that's his facing in that hex.
okay. So if that's the case, and you wanted to go from road column to march column, it would cost you one movement point per hex difference between the size of the road column and the size of the march column, with a minimum cost of one.
Okay. So
So
then
it would cost
cost
so it would
one.
cost you one
Right.
basically for the road column to form up into a march column.
Okay. All
And
right.
so just,
So we
delete
got
that.
that.
And
Okay.
now you're at one hex, and you're,
And he
it's a
goes.
half. It's a half per hex, of course.
Oh yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that.
You're right. Oh, I forgot. I still keep thinking it's one for one. So it's
So that's
one.
one and a
So
half
there's
now.
two.
That's two. Yep.
There's three.
That's right.
Okay. Um, and then I guess this would make it four.
It would. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That's right.
And then this guy just behind, he's going to come down, and so that's
So
one.
that's one, and he's actually facing that
Yep.
way.
And so then we bring him out of road column. That's going to be
Two.
two, and that's going to be three, and that's going to be four.
Exactly.
Okay. And then
Right.
everybody else should be two hexes behind the chap who is in front of them. If we're going to keep things
I would
simple,
expect
right?
so.
So that's
Yes. Yeah. If you
one,
wanted to do that, you probably could. Yeah.
two, three,
Three to come out of
four.
road and
Yep.
four. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. All right. That's easy. And then this guy, I think, is part of the same group. So that's going to be
Yeah. He is. So it'd be
one,
one,
two,
two, three,
three, and then
four,
four gets him out of road column.
and changes facing.
Yeah.
So all right. So everybody's in March. Everybody's moved along.
Right. And
Life
is
is
that now the
great.
question is, are those guns part of his command?
Guns are almost always independent in this series.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
So you can activate them with any formation.
Oh,
So if you want to, you could do it right now just to go ahead and move them. Obviously, you could alternately just do it with the next activation for the guys that are trying to come on.
right. Yeah. And
Either
then,
way, it's
okay, cool,
six of
cool.
one, half dozen of the other.
All right. I will just go ahead and leap this guy. Okay. That's it.
Okay.
That's my exciting thing.
Hey, first class, just first class. All right, I think it's your roll.
Okay. Here we go. 41. It's
Okay,
another
that's
Prussian.
us again. So
I think I
and
still
so
have to
then
be doing, since it's my detachment, right?
yes, it is. Now I do want to tell you something that I just observed as I was getting ready, and
Yep.
that is that way up at the top of the board, where
Yeah.
my guys are coming on,
Yep.
those two guys there,
They're part of mine.
yeah, they're Triskows.
Okay.
So I will send them down your way. Obviously, they're not going to make, land speed records unless I send a commander with them to attach them. But anyway, I'll send them down your way. Um, so who's next? Who's behind him? That's Kalkruth.
So we've got uh, Kalkruth and Brandis, and and then I guess General Hotchoni.
Oh yeah, well he's
Hotchoni.
the wing commander for Kalkruth
Yeah.
and Trescow.
Right, but now Brandis, I don't know who
He's
Brandis
part of
belongs.
Lestvitz.
Yeah, so he's part of Kleist's group, or yeah, Lestvitz. I don't know
He
where
and Kleist
Lestvitz
are
is.
part of Lestvitz group,
Yeah,
and I don't know where the rest of those guys are. Um,
yeah. I mean, it looks like Lestvitz
is he up
and
with?
Kleist are up at the very
They're up
north.
with me.
Yeah,
All right. Well, just to our previous conversation, just when they come on.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll march them on because I guess they're mine because they're not part of the
They're
detachment.
not part of the detachment.
Because the detachment is refreshing my memory is
It's
Shonok, Fouquet, and Harchamoy,
yep,
as well as Winterfeld. So
yep,
basically, just the top row of our order of battle,
yep,
and everything else is not.
yep.
Okay.
All right. So what should I move? Are you going to move those two guys, or should I move these other people that are here on the road? I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'll
strictly
move
speaking,
Kalkaruth, I guess.
it, yeah. I mean, just I guess bring guys on.
Yeah. So I'll move the artillery with this, so it's going to be 1 and 2 gets it here, and then 3, 4, because it moves faster on the paved road.
Yep.
Whoops, there's our facing. All right.
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely. Not as fast as those crazy American roads where, it's 3 hexes for a half a movement point.
All right, and
It's
then
like those
these guys.
interstate highways. Crazy.
All right, let's see here. I got all these guys here. I think they're all part of the same. Yeah. Okay, so and you can have how many? It's got to be what, 3 or 4 per road? Is it 4 per road in road column?
For infantry?
4 increments.
Infantry it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
those guys all need 2 hexes.
Right. And we need to clone some road markers. Oh my gosh. You're one of those people, huh?
What?
Somebody is turning the markers. Somebody's like, oh, the little arrow's got to point the right direction.
Oh, for God's sakes. Yes, absolutely they do.
I'm like, really? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm one of those kind of people.
If you're not, got a little OCD tendency, why are you playing bar? I mean, that's kind of my feeling about it.
I don't. That's why I mostly play La Bataille.
Why did they write
stuff is just strewn all over the map, higgledy piggledy.
Higgledy piggledy?
Nobody cares.
Oh no, I start twitching. I couldn't handle it.
All right. I have moved Kalkruth. We are
excellent.
We are excitement. Woo!
Excellent, David.
Rolling. We still have not moved the end turn
one
yet.
for you, and we still haven't moved the end turn marker. It's a good point.
So it looks like, all right. So let's. All right.
What I will say, Eric, is next time you get a chance.
Oh, I'm going to move Hotchni. I didn't realize that he was floating around up there.
Yeah, just go ahead and bring him on.
Yeah.
Just when you activate Trescow, just let's don't forget to move those guys up north.
Okay.
They're they're out of command, so they're only going to be able to move half speed. But at least we can, first of all, get them out of the way.
Right.
Actually, let me think about that. How do I want to handle that? Wonder if there's somebody I can have to attach to him. There's a
All right. What did you decide to do, David?
I'm going to. I think I'm going to activate Haddock,
All right.
the other cavalry command here, and I'm trying to figure out what's one hex line cavalry to one hex march column.
Oh my.
Uh,
Which way?
I see infantry one diagram. I don't see one or two hex
Cavalry is down in the bottom.
infantry diagrams on top as a guide to how to make the formation. But of course, use the cavalry costs. What are they?
The cavalry costs are at the bottom of the chart. He says that so confidently, but hasn't actually found the piece of paper that it's on.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. So you're going from line to march?
Okay, so you use the bottom of the half of the page for the cavalry of any length, 1 to 3 hexes that make formation chain listed. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like if you turn to your right, it's only going to cost you 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they just all kind of turn to the right.
Yeah, these 4, they're going to turn. All right, so I guess I first got to see if I'm in command. So I roll 1 die. Boom, and 2. He's in command. All right, so now I do so the 4 at the top only have 2 movement points. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it's half.
Yes, that's right.
And it,
Well, no, wait a
does
minute.
it round
I thought
up
they
or
were
does it round
cavalry.
down?
Don't
They're
Or
cavalry,
3
but they're
they
out of
got
command.
4 movement points, right?
Oh, they're 7s. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they're half. Yeah, they're 4.
I was thinking, wait a minute. That's the slowest light cavalry ever.
That's because they got machine guns mounted
Oh dear.
on their
That's not light.
bicycles.
But they're light machine guns. That's why they're light
they are
cavalry,
light machine
right?
guns. Yes,
Yeah,
they're not
that's
heavy
good.
machine guns. Light.
No,
machine
that'd
guns.
be ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, so they're going into column. That's 1. That's 2.
There.
That's 3. That's 4.
Is it really 4? If they're in column, wouldn't they be moving at half per hex they enter?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. I wasn't.
Didn't move
counting.
very far.
Well, it took,
Oh, but just changing facing costs a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's not as far as you think it's going to be.
Is normal just changing face is 1, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, unless you're terrible French infantry or American infantry.
All right.
So then,
This group down here.
You have some very pretty uniforms on your hussars there.
yeah, they are very nice, aren't they? I like that teal. Nice.
Oh,
And
the
there,
teal.
there isn't any penalty for ending up in the same hex, right?
stacking wise?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I
I
understand
mean,
your meaning.
unless
Well,
you're in a different formation, right?
like if I want both of this one and this one to end up in that hex, there's no penalty.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So that's 4 and 4 and 3, 4 there. Um, and this other. All right. So um, and this other group. Actually, do I want to do that? I can do it next turn. All right. All right. So the other group up here will be our column there. Oh, actually, let's see what's. So I can do any of them this side. That's 1. 2. 3. And I'm only going to go this way. All right. Okay. Finito.
Uh, so, just asking, because you're free to do whatever you want, but now you've got guys that aren't in command on both ends of your formation.
Oh, they're in command. Oh, did it? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. I was counting from the wrong guy. Sorry. So now he's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5 to here, and it extends to him, right?
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's just you were kind
I,
of like you weren't reaching back to the guys in the back, and you weren't reaching all the way to the guys in the front either. And I'm like, I'm sure that's not what you meant.
yeah, no, I was actually thinking that was
Oh, sure, that makes
was the
sense.
commander,
Okay.
and I had it one in front. I know I can't get the other one in. You know, there was
No, understood. I mean, you'll need another turn for sure.
at
Okay,
least
doke.
All
part
right.
of them.
Time to roll the dice again.
I think it's me now.
Yeah.
You were up. Back to you.
Look, it's me, and it's a wing ding activation. Um, what am I doing here? It's L. And that's V. Please carry on, Eric. However you like.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I was just reading in some rules that actually I can plop some non-command leaders on those two battalions of Tresco's guys and have them rush down with these wing leaders
oh, okay.
using attachment.
All right.
You've got extra leaders.
Are you kidding me?
Come on,
We have
it's not
thousands.
called Frederick the Great for nothing.
Exactly, man.
All
You're
right. So
large
I
and
guess
in
I will
charge.
activate Treshow, right?
Um, you don't need to. I guess
I
is what
don't.
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Because they can, and this is not something we've dealt with before, but I'll just point it out, and it's not something that happens terribly often, but it's worth remembering. So it's called attachment.
Okay.
And the way attachment works is an unactivated combat unit of one command
Mm-hmm.
can be activated as a temporary member of another command provided the unit is stacked with a leader who is also being activated.
Oh, okay.
The
That's kind of
combat
cool.
unit is said to be attached to the activated command. The leader can be the activated command's leader or a non command leader that's also being activated along with the command. So in this case, since I really probably don't really need wing leaders at the moment, I'm
Right.
just thinking I'll just stick uh, Bevern and oh, who's the other one?
Well,
Bevern and Lestvitz. I'll just stack on those two guys and
right.
just bum rush them down the highway so they're not moving at half speed.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
And then I'll just attach them to my first activation. So you don't even need to worry about them. They will be part of somebody else's activation. So you
Okay.
do whatever you need to do.
So
Um,
when I'm looking at your order of battle here, all those guys at the top level of each one, those are all wing leaders.
Yeah.
yep.
You got lots of wings, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, it is a lot of
That's
wings.
probably why they had that rule for
3, 4, 5,
just
6,
any
7.
activation is a wing activation.
Well, that's an interesting point because basically you're only getting two commands. It's not like the Austrians. If the Austrians were getting wing activations, they'd be getting, what's that? Cool. He's got, what, six
6,
commands?
and well, he's not on.
Koenigsegg is five. So
Yeah.
that's a bunch. Yeah, we have a lot of wing leaders.
Yeah.
Is that good or is that bad? I don't know.
All right. Well, I don't have a wing to activate.
Then don't.
But do you? Well, I guess I can just shake out my line here a little bit with Treshow. Or do I not want to activate Treshow now?
Oh, well, there's no reason to do it now.
Okay.
So actually, I guess another way of thinking about it is um, going back to the detachment rules.
Right.
We've got to finish all of your detachment activations, but I think we've determined that the guys who are off the map now, where your guys came in, are actually part of the main army. They're not part of your detachment because they're part of Lestvitz, right?
Right. Yeah. The only thing that's part of mine, I guess, would be this artillery that I didn't. I mean, it's independent, so we can move it, but
Yeah, I mean, you're
it should come
you're
on
certainly
behind this.
you're certainly free to just bring them on and fill in behind your
Yeah.
infantry there, but that would have been part of the last
Yeah.
activation, not this one.
Yeah. I didn't see
So
them there.
feel
at the
free
time.
if you want to. And then really obviously you're not required to activate all of these guys in your main infantry line if you don't see any need to. And if that's the case, then we could just pass it over to me and I'll just start doing my thing.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do that then? Because the only thing that I thought would just kind of shake out the line a little bit, but that's really not going to make a difference.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, you'll lose your chance basically. So if there's any interest in doing something, feel free to do it.
Yeah, because I was just.
I'm gonna go
I didn't.
refill my drink while you
Yeah,
guys
I
discuss
didn't know
this.
By all
whether
means.
it made because these guys are like double stacked. Does it make sense to unstack them?
Oh, well, yeah, you're quite right. I didn't realize that. Yeah, you certainly, especially with his 12 pounders
Yeah,
over
it'd be a
there,
big fat
it,
target.
it doesn't make a lot of sense for those guys to all be making enormous targets. And oh my God, they're all double stacked.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Well, the first four.
Yeah.
Still,
So I thought
still
I
a
would,
lot.
I
Okay.
would, I could do this guy here, right? Cursal,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. And what are you imagining? You're just
I'm
gonna.
just gonna, I could just back one of these guys here and back another one guy here, and then I'd have, I mean, I could no
Oh, okay.
here and here,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah,
therefore,
I
they're
was, I
just
was, I was gonna say that probably makes sense. And who's back there? Oh, it's just the leader and the wing leader are
yeah,
back there, right? So yeah, I mean, all that cost you is a
just cost like 2 points or yeah,
well, yeah, it costs 2 movement points and then obviously a disorder check, which is no big deal because you got the wing leader and the command leader there anyway. So
right.
if you failed either one of them, the leader cleans
The
it up
leader can move there.
next time. So
Stop moving.
just throw those two if you want, and away you go.
Okay, so a disorder check for that chap.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yep.
fine. Disorder check for that chap. Oh, he's
Yep.
fine. Okay.
All right. Okay. So then put
All
the
right,
leaders
so Cursol is there,
done.
and then Foucault is my wing leader. I don't need to do anything with him right now, I guess, but oh yeah, because it was a wing, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
Oh, it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It
I had a
was.
wing
My
activation for
bad.
what it's
Yeah.
worth. Yeah.
Because you've actually already activated the other half of that wing because they were coming in off board.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's that.
All right. Very good. So that's done. And it was my die roll. So now I guess it's your die roll.
Okay. All right. I will roll some dice and see what we get. 68. Is that enough to advance the clock?
Gosh, is that the first one? It is. That's absurd.
Well, let's see. What did I roll before? Or what did you roll for the wing activation? You rolled
This
a
is 73.
73. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we got to exceed 10.
Oh, okay.
And we have been resolutely failing to exceed 10, which obviously suits us fine because we got more moving to do than he does.
Right.
All right, so that is, even with our +1, that's enough for him to get the next activation.
Okay.
And well, he had a pretty good idea there, refilling his
Okay.
drink.
I'm back.
He's back. He's a man with a plan.
It's non-alcoholic, so
Oh, oh,
That's disappointing.
yeah. All right, I will be back in just a moment though. But
All right,
it's
it's
your
your
activation for
activation.
a single activation, David.
my activation for a
Yep.
single
One
activation.
single activation.
Who do I have left?
You've moved all the cavalry. You got
I've moved my wing.
somebody. You got
The only one I got left.
Gasco.
Let's see. Okay. I'm going to move my independent grenadiers then.
Okay.
So they couldn't activate with that other wing. So, and they're done.
Well, that was quick.
All right. And that was your
That
your
was
roll?
Michael's roll, so it's your roll, I guess, or I'm not sure what. Oh, actually, no, it was my roll. So we're back to
Yeah,
you.
I was going to say it looked
Yeah.
like it was your roll on there.
Yep.
So okay, so that means it's my roll, and we did move the end turn one.
Yep,
All
we
right.
did. Yep.
All right. So now let's see if I can do another special result.
66.
66.
That's
That's
going
to
to be
you.
a Prussian activation.
And it's going to move the end turn to 2.
Yeah. So
I'll get that. We wait for.
So I will activate Treshow down here and for them to turn.
Actually, what did you do on the last one? Just while I was gone.
I had a couple of units that were here that were like double stacked, so I just backed them up so they wouldn't be such big fat targets. I'm going to do the same thing here as well. So this guy can turn 1 hex. What's it going to take for him to turn? He's in line. It's going to go to column. And then from column back to line. So if this guy here, the top unit, he wants to turn to march column. So that looks like it's cost 1, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yep.
So then that's going to be a half and another half. And then he can turn back into...
2.
So 2, so then he can turn back into line, and that's 1.
Yep.
And this chap's going to do the same thing. And this chap's going to do the same thing. Come on, unstack. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's some serious maneuvering there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it
And
for
it's your
mine.
roll.
Yep, it's your roll, Michael.
Right then. And the intern still doesn't move.
Well,
We moved
David
it
got it
last
to
time.
move one. He rolled a 12.
Oh, okay. That's good. Okay.
All right, I'm all done with my stuff, so now you can.
Because all the rest of those guys, you're okay leaving as they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Everybody,
Yep.
Winterfeld's not going to do anything exciting, so
Winterfeld is coming.
yes.
And naturally, this is the moment that Her Majesty Lady Guinevere, aka Spoohead, sits on my chest.
Boohead.
We call her Spoo because that seems so much more fitting her personality than Guinevere, which seems awfully like distinct and distinctive and distinguished and dignified. And Spoo is anything but dignified. She's a knucklehead.
There you go.
But every now and again, she's terribly, terribly needy and then gets on my chest. So I will attempt to do this one-handed, I guess. Okay.
How can
All
are
right.
you lying down while you're playing? Are you,
I'm reclining on the futon. I'm not lying down, but, I've got a nice horizontal, diagonal surface.
Okay,
for her,
all right.
Okay,
You're
all
obviously
right.
more comfortable.
I am. Get off the things. Good.
Yeah, he's got his monitor mounted on the ceiling. He's
There
just
you
laid
go.
back.
There you go. I can see that. You just want to make sure it's well secured. We don't want to
Some people
read the
put-
obituary.
Some people put mirrors on the ceiling.
There you
Some
go.
people put a monitor on the ceiling. Okay, where was I? I was going to activate someone if that wasn't going to be too much trouble for anyone.
Yep, knock yourself out.
All right. And I can't believe how big this outfit is, so I'm just wanting to make sure that I haven't lost my mind. Kleist. Or is it Kleist?
We'll call him Kleist.
Is it
Column.
IE or EI?
EI.
That's Kleist.
It's
Yep.
Kleist in German, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. It's an enormous outfit.
I always remember that because my German teacher back in high school, his little thing was I Wiederholen Sie.
I'm sure. I mean, obviously.
I mean, which was basically EI is pronounced as I and IE is pronounced as E and Wiederholen Sie is repeat after me,
There
basically.
you go.
Very good. Very good. No, I think it's just the way I remember it is it's just backwards from English, where usually if you see two vowels together, you pronounce them. You're more likely to pronounce the first one, but in German you always pronounce the second one.
Yep.
At least the way we pronounce it. So let's just take a look. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy. Anyway, you're going to make me nuts. Go find a place to fall asleep.
Who is it? You're doing Kleist?
Yeah, that Kleist is actually right here.
Wait, I don't know where here. I'm just looking on your order of battle here.
He's
Oh.
under Leswitz. So
Yep.
look in the second
he-
row over to
Yep.
the right, next to the artillery. That's Kleist.
Right.
So it looks like he's got 4 regiments.
Well, I guess that is an L after that. It
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
That's
Oh, that's
bane
what
of
I'm
some of the
looking for.
stuff. Why couldn't they have been fighting in Italy? Then we would have had proper, lettering for our stuff instead of this Germanic, Gothic lettering on all of it. Oh well.
Well, honestly, it wouldn't have killed me if they just used some typeface that wasn't so horrible.
Times Roman.
What do I know? All right, so I'm going to start by putting um, Leschwitz with this unit in order to attach him to Kleist's um, activation.
Cool.
And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and just put him there. And then we'll take the other unit and do the exact same thing, but with a different wing leader. Bevern will be with him, babysitting him. And put him right there. Put him right there. So you see, just like that.
Viola.
And Viola, as they say. Now, let's see. I believe this is an enormous unit here, so it's going to take me a minute.
It's only 8.
It's eight battalions, which is, I don't know, it's pretty good size considering it's way bigger. Well, I guess I've got one other one that's that big.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, they're not really that many that are that big. Oh, to heck with it. I'll just go ahead and do it. All right. So these guys, of course, were following in the same road column, so that's as far as they can go.
Yep.
And that's that. Oh dear, that's annoying. There we go. I'll just go ahead and bring him on map and flip him over.
So which way are you sending them? So
southwest.
I know, but Brandis is down here where I'm at.
I agree.
And he and Kleist and Lestwitz or Kleist and Brandis are both under Lestwitz.
I
Okay.
get it.
All right.
I-
I'm confused.
There is madness to my madness.
Oh,
sir.
okay, cool. I'm glad that there's madness to your madness.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have it any other way, is there? Okay, so clearly it's going to take a while to get these guys on board, because that is a lot of guys that need to come on board. So
Yeah.
it's just going to take a while. It's all good. We laugh, we cry, we learn a little bit about ourselves.
All right, let's roll the dice again.
It's to you, Eric.
Okay. A 46.
Hold on.
Oh, you just sent Bevern to the graveyard.
Yeah, because graveyard is right above flip, and I twitched. Okay.
You
All
could
right.
blame the cat.
My apologies. Carry on.
All right, so I rolled a 46. That is going to be a Austrian activation.
I think that's.
If I
Any
understand.
left?
I don't think that's an Austrian. 46.
46 certainly would be.
I don't get my +3, right?
Why not?
Because I hate you because of that special.
Oh,
we haven't
yeah,
been, we
you're
haven't
right.
been paying
We
attention to
forgot
that,
about
of
that.
course. Yes, you're exactly
Okay,
right.
so that's us, I guess.
Right, because it would be like an 8 to 6.
Yep.
All right, so it's another one for us.
Yeah. No,
truth
I
is-
have been paying attention to that. I
Well,
thought.
good for you. Good for you. Boy, we may be getting pretty low on things we can do, though, because we've got lots of units jammed off board,
Yep.
and I think we've moved about everybody we wanted to move on board, right?
Uh, hey, you're the king. I've done what I
Well, I mean,
can. I
well,
can't bring
right. I
anybody
mean,
else on. I
you've
mean,
got like
unless they're going to be
one.
marching.
You've got Winterfeld,
Yep. So,
um, and then we've got units that are off board.
yeah. So,
So I mean, you could
I
just.
mean, here, I'll just flip Winterfeld for the sake of
Mm-hmm.
flipping him.
Right.
And I can flip Schwerin for the sake of flipping him.
Flipping this and flipping that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And 6601 isn't one of your roads to come in on, is it?
It's not what it says, even though, yes, I would love it if it was, but I'm pretty sure it just says 6701.
Yeah, it says 6701.
Yeah. Must enter 6701 in road column. Commands enter in the order listed, but the artillery and leaders can enter at any time, which I took advantage of.
Yeah, your 1021 comes in on that one. Okay, 6601. Braunschweigers.
Right, and then Prince Henry is coming in at 55101, which is the other one that's over here further to the west.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep, it says at 1020 Prince Heinrich
Oh, that's
comes in over there
1020. That's right.
with his wing. His wing-a-ding. Okay, cool. All right, what do we want to do? Are we all done with things we can really do?
Well, I mean, I guess we. Well, first of all, well, David hasn't gotten all of his activations done, so we definitely need to carry on.
Okay, so somebody needs
David,
to roll.
I think it's
David,
your role, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh, we now have another special result.
And that is a Prussian special result.
That's probably an army lapse too, isn't it?
Oh, this
it's
fate.
even worse.
Oh, it's fate. Oh, geez. All right.
All right.
So then
I'm
you
gonna
roll one
a
die?
single die, it looks like.
Okay, go ahead and roll, Michael.
Hold on. Roll. Oh, I see. It doesn't matter who rolls it. It's a fate result. I roll one die and we see who fate affects.
Yep, a 2, so that's going to be Schwerin. And then we go down to fate. On a 0, he's killed. On a 1, he's wounded. On anything else, it's no effect. So roll again, Michael.
All right. God, no pressure.
Yeah, it's vassal. What can you do? It's a 3, so it's no effect.
Okay. Whew. All right. So, David, back to you.
Okay. So yes, back to me. Damn, 24. That's another activation of yours, unless you don't have anything you can activate anymore.
I don't think we've got any. I mean, I don't have anything.
I don't think we do because we're all jammed up. So I believe it's an activation for you.
Right. And I've got left.
You've got one more of Koenigsegg's on the left flank, I guess, and then you got those reinforcements, right?
Ustel, and then I've got the reinforcements. So I guess I should do Ustel first. All right, let's see. So he's got those two, those. All right, so I got a 7 and 8 there, a 7 and an 8 there. And
Data analysis shows too many variables.
2 sevens back there.
Right. I think that's it, right?
Right.
Just holding down the left flank all by his lonesome self. No problem.
Piece of cake.
All right. And right now looks like okay. Now the ones on the road they're not in command, right? Because
But
or
why
does
wouldn't
the
they
road
be? Doesn't command go down the road? Doesn't it
No,
count?
not. And remember, this is a subtle
Oh,
distinction, but command leaders
to
commanding
another
their
command leader.
troops.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right. But command leaders talking to their own troops, no.
Okay.
So yeah, they are out of command. On the other hand, they're in march column, so they can move 4 hexes straight ahead. Well, no, 3 hexes straight ahead, because I guess that slope is going to slow them
Yeah.
down a little bit.
Well, they got two.
But still.
They got 2 slopes.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
There's a
they're actually
slope
going to be a
there.
lot. Yep, yeah, that's going to be 1. Wow, yeah, so they really can only move 2 hexes. That sucks.
now
Well, the
And they
slope
can't.
the slope counts as half when you're in march column.
That's right, exactly.
So
So they
this
could
would
move,
cost 1, and that would be one
and
and a
then
half.
1.5, and then you can't go any farther.
Yeah.
and to go if I want to put that in road,
It would cost you 2 movement points to go into road, and you could advance your front hex.
so I could put this and put both of them in road right there, right? Extend behind here.
Yes, yes,
There.
you could extend. Yeah, effectively, yeah, you've extended 1 forward and 1 backward. Yes, that would work.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that.
Mhm.
So, on that and the other 2. Let's see here. I'm going to take the front ones, so go into column. That's 1. Two. Oh, actually, it's not quite 2 because there's a hill for one of those. That's 2.5 for that one, and 2 for that one. 3.5 and 3. Do that. And let's see here. 1, 2, 3,
And the
4.
woods are 1.
Well, they're not going through the woods. All right, so that's half, 1.5, 2, 3. Actually, I can go there. All right.
All right, and now you gotta get your
Actually,
leader to split the
them
difference
back
somehow, magically.
There, I'm gonna put 2. tail end, 1, 2, 3. Tail end still is. Yeah. He's okay. He's part of the thing. All right. So there, those two are. Those four behind are still all in command, right?
They should be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And you've got communicating battalions, I guess, right?
Yep.
So
So, all right.
just plunk down road markers and you're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, so they would all be in command next turn.
All right. Let's see. Is it my turn to roll?
Sure, why
Michael's turn to roll.
not? It might be mine, actually.
Okay. Yeah, you normally go after David. Well, this is going to be an Austrian wing activation.
And is that a wing down there?
His reinforcements are just, I think they're just one
They're just a command.
brigade, right?
Just one lousy command.
So that's how many? So
I'm
that's,
looking for him. Where is he?
He's in the
down
upper
here.
left.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking for him on the OOB.
In the upper left of the command chart.
It's Hohenzollern.
He's under
He
Esther.
is a
Oh!
traitor.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, I get it now. I was looking at the wrong layer of the org chart. So
So
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
2, 3, 4. Right.
why did you stop there?
That's all the far I could get, right?
You got a movement of 6, don't you?
Oh, that's cavalry. Oh,
Should be able to get him there.
to there, yeah. I didn't realize that was cavalry. I was thinking it was an infantry. Okay. Some more cavalry coming.
We
Cool.
shouldn't have said anything.
That's not how we roll here in the 18th century, sir.
We're all very gentlemanly.
You 19th century people might have a different idea about this.
Hey,
but-
you guys are enemies of the revolution. Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
yeah,
Unless you are an aristocrat, in which case
ask
They're
your
gonna
King
chop your
Louis
head
what he thinks about fraternité right now. I'm gonna.
well, let's see.
All
Which
right.
Louis do we have? Is this Louis the 15th? Plunking around here?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not Louis the 14th.
No, he's got to be gone by now.
Okay, and I guess so that's that guy. That's my last command.
All right.
Okay. So if we're going to do that end turn wackiness,
There really isn't anything to do because there's nobody left that's
then we're just
we're done.
then we're just done, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
nobody
'cause-
can fire, nobody can undisorder, nobody can do anything else, and
Nobody's on the board, so it doesn't really make any sense to do anything further, even
Yeah.
though we have other formations that haven't activated, but they also aren't on the board, so I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
So, in spite of taking an hour and 15 minutes to figure out what the heck we were doing, gentlemen, I think we've done it.
Yep. One turn done. Woo woo.
One turn done. So it's now the 940 turn.
Correct.
Oh.
Zoot alors. All right. Well, I'm going to save this. Oh, I guess I need to create a new folder to store this in.
we're gonna do the end move thing before you save it.
Oh, yes, that's probably wise. Yes, of course. Yeah, so we click the end turn marker. Obviously, there's nobody shaken. There's no reason to worry about the rally phase, so we'll just go straight to the end turn.
Flip
And
everybody back over.
Everyone is magically flipped over.
All
And
right.
then I click save. And I say, Prague. And I say new folder. And it is 0940 start.
Yep, that will be our next turn.
Marvelous.
All
Well,
right.
gentlemen, it was a pleasure. I actually feel reasonably comfortable we'll manage to stagger our way through this.
I think so too.
All
I
right.
can't wait for
The stuff to hit the rotary impeller?
yes, pretty much. There's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of that happening, I have no doubt.
Yeah, I think we
So-
got a couple of turns of bringing on reinforcements, and then
Yeah.
stuff's going to happen.
That is the general hope.
That's right.
So-
And then, unfortunately, what I think we're going to find is that it's going to be an empty triumph.
I don't think so. We are going to do better than Frederick.
Are you?
Oh,
Good for you.
absolutely.
Good for you.
Come on, Michael. I mean, between the two of us,
Unfortunately, Frederick was, well, I think, but what made it an empty triumph is the fact that Frederick couldn't prosecute a siege. I mean, he couldn't punch his way out of a damp paper bag as far as siege. For all that he was skilled in battlefield maneuvering, he never was very good at siege warfare. So he wasn't going to be able to reduce Prague. And obviously, since the Austrians have another army that's going to show up in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have another battle down the road, Colleen, that's what makes this the empty triumph.
yeah. Well,
That, and of course, what was it? Schwerin got killed here, right?
Winterfeld got killed, yeah.
Winterfeld.
And
Yeah.
he was
so-
one of the more capable of his commanders there. So.
Yeah, so that's kind of an expensive victory at that
Yeah.
point. But all right. Well,
But-
gentlemen, I hope y'all have a marvelous week, and we will see you again next week.
All right, and to all of our viewers out there, thanks for being patient. I hope that you enjoyed it. We'll catch you guys next week for the next installation. Woo woo!
Whoop.